We're good to go?
Yes.
All right. Well, good evening, one and all. Welcome to this week's episode of DCL PrimeTime. The playoffs are finally here. So, who made the cut? Who did not? Who were the big winners? Who were the losers? And who gave some stupendous individual performances? All that and more right here on this very show, presented to you by myself, Avinash, in conjunction with Parthiv, Viju, and Satya. So we have yet another blockbuster episode for you this week. We will have a very special guest who has created waves in the past week, which a lot of you probably have already heard about. And you will also get to see more about that on this particular show. But to kick things off, as always, we have Parthiv starting off with the analysis of the previous week's games. And before we get to that, this week's show is going to have a little bit more for you because we are going to bring to you the teams that have actually made the cut for the playoffs and also talk a bit about those teams that did not quite make it. That doesn't mean that they escape our attention, and we will do some analysis and present some viewpoints with some more guests joining us today on what went right for the teams that made it and what possibly didn't go that well for the teams that did not make the cut. So over to you, Parthiv.
Yeah, thank you, Avi. I think this weekend was full of surprises, full of results, which kind of every result mattered. I think there was a conception that the last week is probably there are some games which matter and some games which do not matter, but
Mm-hmm.
in this case, I think pretty much every game mattered because everyone needed points, and because of that, you see this. The points table has quite considerably been altered based on
Yeah.
based on what the analysts have predicted and who was going to go make it, was not going to make it, and even the positions have been
So Viju
uh,
spent all that time with that lovely analysis last week and showing who's got to play what, and all that now has the apple cart has been upsetted, hasn't it?
yes, I think so. First come first, I think we'll probably start off with the MI Rangers Micah game. Again, this game, although it was a straightforward for Rangers, but they had to win. They had to win because that 4 or 5 points which they needed to make sure they qualify and make sure they have a good standing in the table. And in this game, it was all Iftikhar
Right.
who basically bludgeoned Micah off off the charts. I mean, the game was over before even Micah went into bat. I mean, scoring 134, that too under lights. Uh, that was always going to be not under lights. I'm sorry. It was a Sunday game.
It was Sunday
So
morning.
yeah, Sunday morning game. So once you score that 134, it's always going to be an uphill task. Credit to Micah. I think they have slowly but surely kind of improved, but not to that level where they are a challenger. So they kind of are, in that boat where next year it's going to be a challenge for bringing back the team, bringing back quality team, because now that they've got a taste of DCL, I think now they'll probably need to think as to need to kind of recruit new talent. In this game, it was pretty straightforward. I would say, my Rangers opted to bat, put the runs on the board, and then cleaned out Micah. Mike, I think even Rangers. I think if you look at their bowling, they tried quite a bit of bowlers. Vijay Kumar stood out with his 4 wickets, and none of the Micah batsmen. There wasn't any much resistance. They kept losing wickets at regular intervals. At no point of time, I would say they were in the game. They did like a little bit of recovery towards the end, being 6 for 41 to posting 72. I think there was a little bit of recovery, but it wasn't going to be enough in any case. Again, the standout performer in this case is Ifti, but also on the bowling case, Anush, again, amongst the wickets, even though he just bowled 2 overs, he got those 2 wickets, 5 runs, and supported Vijay Kumar really well. So, MI Rangers, as predicted, go, beat Micah and get the needed points to make sure they get a good seeding in the table.
Right. Yeah. I was in the ground next to where this game was being played, and yeah, like you said, it was all an Iftikhar show. It's like the balls just repeatedly launched out over the boundary. So it was quite a sight to watch.
Yep. The next game, I think another inconsequential game from a Rising Stars point of view, but from a Pokeries point of view, I think it was something which they had to make sure they get all the 5 points to get a good seeding, and they did it quite convincingly. Rising Stars, as we've mentioned over and over time, I think they've lost their spiel, they've lost their shine, and they no longer are probably rising. They're probably going in the reverse direction. I think they've lost the edge which they had earlier, like a couple of seasons ago. They were kind of a team which you would want to look out for and not take it easy. But this year has been quite disappointing. All the Patels haven't performed, and none of them have really contributed. From the Pokery side, I think this was a fairly convincing win. Didn't break a sweat, as they have always done. Saran Raj and Neil have been amongst the runs all through the season, and in this game also they basically made sure Pokeries didn't mess up anything, and they just basically cruised and got those 5 points as needed. So not much to write about. I think Rising Stars, that brings an end to their season. I think they need to introspect and try to look at what went wrong. I would say it was both from a bowling and batting side. I think they just haven't got up to the next level, the next gear, which is getting out and dominating the bowling. I think that's where some of those teams like Rising Stars haven't kind of graduated to the next level. So they definitely need to look at that aspect as to how to kind of go to the next level.
Right, and I think there was a bit more unfortunate news for them, because I didn't see one of their key batsmen, Keyur Gadia, who's been giving them those starts on some of the occasions. And when I asked, and Keyur is a friend off the field
Mhm.
for me as well, and when I asked about him, they said he's actually found a job out of state and is moving.
Right.
So that's more not so enthusiastic news and important for the Rising Stars. So,
Yeah, I
and
think
one point, yeah, go ahead, please.
good. No, I was going to say that's unfortunate. I think that happens to a few teams every now and then. Every year, jobs change, people move, and you lose
Right,
key players.
absolutely. And one point I wanted to make was the ground, the Ann Arbor. This was at Ann Arbor, and I know
Mhm.
I heard some very derisive comments about that ground in the past when some of the other teams have played. But when we played, it didn't seem all that nightmarish a ground to bat on. I mean, I've played on much worse surfaces than that.
Right.
So I
No,
don't know if
the
they've done some
ground,
improvement
the
to
ground
the
near
ground.
the road is good. The one behind is little bad.
Okay. So I think we played on the one that's near the road, and the MI Rangers game happened on the other one.
Yeah.
But the way
So,
Ipsy was batting didn't seem like there was anything wrong with the pitch at all.
Satya, where did we play? Near the road or?
We played Canton 11 behind and GLCC near the road.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, the one near the I saw the one near the road that looked decent.
Yeah.
Of course, the
Right.
only thing is teams probably already have a negative opinion because they're going all the way up to Ann Arbor. So you already have a baggage which you're carrying where you're upset that you've been shunted all the way to Ann Arbor. You see. So I'm not even sure why our committee guys are sending us to Ann Arbor, because honestly speaking, there are so many grounds in and around Detroit. And if we worked a little harder, I think we would be able to get those grounds. That's what many of the guys who can get grounds keep telling me. So maybe the committee groundsman needs to push a little harder rather than take the easy way out and send us to Ann Arbor, because why are we going to Ann Arbor when almost all the teams are Detroit based?
Yeah, not to throw a spanner in your argument, Vijay, I totally agree, but it's still better than Mishka that sends us all the way to Grand Rapids. I take Ann Arbor over Grand Rapids anyway. But no, your point is right. Considering most of the teams are based out of this area, there's no reason why all of us en masse have to travel away. But
Again,
moving on, yeah,
Avi, that makes sense if there is a team based in Grand Rapids, so there is a home game and an away game. So you want
yes,
to give certain home games. But
there.
here you're having, let's say, Glads versus GLCC or Glads versus Canton 11. I'm just using the
Oh
Glads
yeah,
as an example because
yeah,
we played those two games in Ann Arbor. Well, neither
right.
of those teams are based in Ann Arbor, so shunting us to Ann Arbor didn't make any sense. And it's not just us. You guys have played in Ann
Us
Arbor. I'm
too.
sure
Right.
Strikers played in Ann Arbor, and many other teams played in Ann Arbor, even though you were not playing the dark horses.
Right.
So it makes no sense.
Absolutely. Agreed. Yeah. But moving on to the next game, though, Dynamites versus Indus Thunders. And I'll just quote Vijay Shanmugam Facebook post here that he posted in jubilation, saying well, I'll paraphrase it. They killed the opinions of all the so-called analysts. And I guess we have no other option but to shrug and say, yes, bro, you got it absolutely right on that one.
Well, I'm not sure if he should be shunning us, putting all the analysts under the train or under the bus, because before the game against Indus, he did call me for to pick my mind on what they should do to beat Indus, and I did share some opinions. And while we all picked Indus, that's there's no doubt about it. But to say all the analysts are kaput, I don't think that's fair. Also, I mean. If we are kaput, then why are you calling us and picking our brains? Obviously, you know that we have something to provide you, whether it is a Parthiv or it's me or whether it's Avi. Sure, we are all in the Dynamites corner and we love Dynamites. But
I
to
think,
say that all the Dynamites, all the analysts are, we
Are useless.
throw mud on their faces. I mean, I don't know. I'm not ready to buy that.
He's gonna join us later tonight, so you can throw it right back at him. Yes, Parthiv, sorry.
I was thinking he should probably thank us on the other hand. I mean, that if that is working, if the analysts going against them and picking teams against them is working for them, he should be probably more thankful than shunning the analysts, because that's working. I mean, it's motivating the team. I would rather want to let it continue.
Classic Vijay Shanmugam being ungrateful to us.
So breaking news right on this show. Viju Zakaria has an additional role. In addition to him being an analyst here, he is also now a consultant. So any teams that are looking to pick his brain before a game, please.
Anybody who calls me and asks me for suggestions, I do give them honest, sincere suggestions as to what will work and what will not work, and but still they have to go and execute it. Right? You can give all the ideas in the world,
right?
But ultimately, you have all the credit should go to Vijay Shanmugam and his band of 11 or 12 players who took the ground, because they are the ones who actually got the job done. So they deserve all the credit. But at the same time, don't throw mud on the analyst's face. That's all I'm saying.
So Parthiv, right here, you may want to pull just to take an example from the Mahabharata, which I understand not everyone will be familiar with, but all of our viewers. But you want to do a Yudhishthira and maybe go ask Viju, who's the opposition Bhishma, and ask him, okay, how do we get the better of you?
Yes, we used to call that in Mahabharata there's Bhishma, and then in Mahabharata there is the what's Ravana's brother,
right? Yeah, Vibhishana.
Vibhishan, right?
Right.
The mole, right? We
right.
find the mole in the team. So yes,
exactly.
If you can act as the mole, yes, I would definitely want to reach out to you.
Just go ask the patriarch himself. How do we get the better of your formidable army? Yes. But yes, but yeah.
Used to motivate the team, and it's not about the prime time analysts. So
that is true. But anyways, coming to this game, yes, Parthiv.
So Dynamites have been, like we talked about, they've been on a high. Vijay has been, leading the team really well. They've got really good talent this year. And what a high it has been. It's like straight away, like, I think until last year, they were like almost in, almost out, like just about at the borderline of playoffs. And now they're number 3 in Pool A. And Pool A has been tricky. And as you have seen, the results, which we'll probably look at the rest of the results in Pool A and how it's unfolded. It's really great that that Dynamites have held on to their position and behind Thunders and Raptors. So great shout out to Vijay and the team. They've spectacularly kind of turned the tables. Thunders, I was trying to find some excuse to see why Thunders lost, and really this time they had no excuse. They had pretty much everyone. F40 is ended, so they had basically services of Manoj Singh. Jalaj was there. There was Vijay Verma. There was Praveen Bangera. Pretty much everyone. I mean, they were at full strength. I mean, apart from probably Dinesh Pendetti, who I would think would be an automatic selection. pretty much everyone was there, and still they weren't able to kind of execute. Sandeep Gopu has been missing probably a lot in some of the games, and I'm not sure if he's busy in some work related stuff or injured, but he hasn't been on the field, so that definitely has been a factor. But from the Dynamite side, the two A's, the Amrit Yadav and Arun Selvaraj, they've been the architects of this high, I would say. If you check out their statistics, they have basically dominated with both the ball and the bat. And Thunder's batting was in this case was all over the place, and except for that start with Bandera and Chetan Dushan provided, their batting really failed to capitalize. And here the credit must go to Amrit. His fifer made sure that Thunder's score was under check. And chasing 90 plus against Thunder's always is going to be a little tricky, and I think it depends on the start. And Dynamites made sure they had a good start. Again, the double A's dominated. They opened the batting. They provided that start. Thunders did make a comeback through Jalaj. I think he was the pick of the bowlers. And at one stage, it was a little tricky. It was like 65 for 7, and then they did manage to get 91. But as they say, attack is probably the best form of defense. I think Anil's inning at the bottom, I think, made all the difference. He came in, and we've seen and we've talked about it. And he's basically a zero fast player. Either he's a hit or a miss, and this time he was a hit. His 19 runs with those two massive sixes, I think, helped Dynamites cross the line. Now, this game, along with the MCC Miles versus Glad games, were probably the two upsets, I think, which have toppled the apple cart for many teams. People who were expecting their positions or pretty much sure of the positions. I think these two games and the results that have gone, against what analysts have predicted, have really toppled the positions and who you're going to face. And Dynamites, I think, square up against MI Rangers, which and Dynamites take on Soling Strikers. And I think, to be honest, both Thunders and Dynamites should be happy with that draw. And the way Thunders have been playing at that moment, Rangers might fancy their chances, to be honest. So I feel it's going to be a good game. Both the draws are favorable for all the four teams. I would say these are going to be good games.
Right.
I think Parthiv, also the GLCC loss was an unexpected loss.
Yes.
I mean, I did say that game was going to be a close game, and I gave only 4 points to GLCC because I anticipated that the way GLCC has been playing, I didn't think it was an automatic shoe-in victory, but did not see that GLCC will lose that game, because that further dropped them, because it was going to be a GLCC versus Pokhari's. Pokhari's did their job and reached the points which was predicted, but GLCC did not. That again changed the positions, because now you had Patriots moving much further up, you see.
Yep. Yeah, the next game, again, straight away, the FCC Patriots was probably the game of the week. Probably the reason why it was a straight shot. Whoever wins gets through to the playoff. And this game reminds us of the old DCL tourney, which we had, the low scoring thriller, which goes to the wire. And what made it really interesting was I was there on the ground. The equation was 2 runs, 1 wicket in hand, and last over with Patriots batting. And I think the equation, like, I was following people there, and they were like, a win basically ensures one of them goes through, but a tie ensures both of them go through. Because I think at that point of time, it wasn't like clear cut that MCC Myers is going to beat Glads, because if Glads had beaten MCC Myers, both these teams would go through if it was a tie. But that obviously didn't happen. So, watching that game, 2 runs needed, a wide was bowled, and then the game got tied. And from there, Patriots knew once it was a tie, Patriots knew that they were in. And FCC was hoping, for some miracle. Obviously, later down that road, they found out that, it wouldn't have mattered because MCC Miles won. But looking at the season, FCC, I think, probably would reflect and probably would agree with our analysis that their batting is to be blamed this season. Their batting has been a complete failure through the season. And apart from, and you can see even in this scorecard, if you see there are 5 ducks in the score, and that basically tells the story. From on the Patriot side, I think Rajashekar Reddy, I think he was one player that I think Nitin, when he was on the show, he had called out, and he's performed well through the season, and so has Santosh. They've basically bowled really well, and throughout the season, I think Sujan has been the only lone warrior. He's been performing day in and day out with the ball. And what was surprising in this game, I think there was one thing which caught my eye, which was Venkat Vadanala. I think he generally bowls his 5 overs, but in this case, he was two overs short, and the second last and the last over were bowled by Mukul and Prabhu. And even Prabhu, for that matter, if you look at the stats, I was checking the stats to see if Prabhu is a regular bowler, and he's actually the highest wicket taker for them. So it's really surprising that Vadanala didn't use him more. And then even if he hadn't used him, the last over he would give it to a person who hasn't bowled him throughout the game. So unless there was something which was as a result of injury, or it was just a brain fade moment, I was really surprised that Vadanala didn't back himself to bowl the last over, or the last but one over.
Actually, Partha, I kind of disagree on that one, and I feel that Vadanala missed a trick here. In fact, I was discussing this also offline with KK on this one, and we all questioned why did Vadanala not bowl. He had Srikanth Gauni, who had bowled 3 overs, 8 runs, and he could have used Gauni, he could have used himself. But this is a pattern which I have found with Vadanala this season, where he has not been bowling his 5 overs. You say that he's bowling his 5 overs. Actually, Partha, I disagree on that one. Satya, can you pull up the previous scorecards quickly? Let's just go through this. I mean, this is a quick this thing, because I have found this, and this is something which I would have asked him if he was on the show. Let's take a look at this, because what I have always found is Vadanala opens the bowling, and then he doesn't finish his quota. Okay, now this game he has bowled 5 overs, 15 runs. All right, let's start going through the 79 for 10. 4 overs, 17 runs. He didn't bowl his 5 over quota there. All right, next match.
Yeah, I would say we should check out some of the bigger games, because in the smaller games he might not have, because he might not have needed. But I think, yeah. I don't think we can.
I think you have to pull the matches itself up, because I found this often the case wherein he has not been bowling his 5 overs. See, look at this: 3 overs, 14 runs. Again, he did not bowl this against Raptors. Now, if Michael Jordan always wanted the ball in his hand when the last shot is to be taken, you see. And I always felt, you're one of the better bowlers. And look at this match here: 2 overs, 7 runs, 1 wicket. And this is a pattern which I have found throughout the season, where he has not been bowling his 5 overs. And I would have loved to ask him, what is the thinking there, especially when you are a good line and length bowler? Exactly. Okay, this is a close game. Let's see how many. See, 2 overs, 10 runs. He has not been bowling his 5 overs, Partha. And this is what I found. Okay, now, because this thought has been going through my mind in the past too. So, especially with the game on the line, and let's look at this. This is another game. See, 3 overs, 7 runs. Again, he did not bowl his 5 overs. So you can see that there is one match where he bowled his 5 overs, but every other match, he opens the bowling. And then after the first 2-3 overs, that's the end. Look at this: 2 overs, 3 runs. And look, why in the world, when are you bowling 2 overs, 3 runs? Why are you not bowling the remaining? So so that's why I disagreed with you when you said that all through he has been bowling. Actually, I found it the other way around, that he has hardly been bowling after the opening spell. And it's a mystery to me. It's a mystery to me. It was a mystery to KK. KK and I were sharing this offhand as to what in the world is going on, and we both kind of blame Vadanala for that. I mean, you know me, if I think something is wrong, I'm going to call it. And I honestly feel that Vadanala should have been bowling. instead of giving
Yeah,
it to Mukul Monga.
right. And even that, like, yeah, that is a good catch. That basically I was checking the last two games, and he was bowling pretty much. And I would have expected him to bowl all the 5 overs. But I think apart from that, even Prabhu, he's been bowling quite regularly for them, and he's amongst the wickets. So I'm surprised that he was only used for that one last over. So that's another one which is surprising and pretty out. Question for Vadanala as to why wasn't Prabhu used.
Yeah, but again, I agree with you. The FCC batting has just not lived up to the other say. If they have to look and see what the reason is not Vadnala not bowling the 5 overs. It's just that in
Yeah,
a close game, you and I would have loved to see Vadnala bowl the 5 overs. I guess if I'm the skipper, I'm having Vadnala bowl those 5 overs. But then I don't think that's the reason for the failure. The reason for the failure is simply one thing and one thing alone. The FCC batting simply did not live up to the mark. Sure, they scored some 180 or 200 runs and some stuff like that. But against a weakened opposition, that's nothing. You really have to come for the big games and perform. That's when you really know that you are a good batting side.
And if you talk about Patriots, I think they have somehow been able to win the big games, the games that have actually mattered. I think they beat the Thunders. They've managed to beat FCC. So they've been able to, like, it's been a mixed season for them, but they've been able to get some really good results. I think they might have lost a game or two which they should have won, but they have able to kind of win some of the big games which people might have predicted the other way. I think they take on the Pokris next. So I think that's going to
Again,
be
Parthiv, yeah, sorry, Parthiv. Again, in this game, actually, FCC should have won this game. Patriots required another 9 or 10 runs with only 1 wicket in hand. And that last pair of Nitin Karna and the other Nitin, I mean, they just waited and waited. And if you saw the game, you would see that, you know what, Nitin Karna, anything pitched even fractionally, I'm saying even 1 or 2 inches outside the leg stump, he just walks across and lets the ball go through and collects the free run.
I think it's the Pana. Yeah, it was the Pana effect, I think.
And the other Nitin looks a lot like Pana, and he bats a lot like Pana too. If you didn't know that his name was not Pana, you would have thought he was Pana.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Very effective batting. Very effective batting. They knew exactly what they needed to get done. And the elation of Nitin Karna when that winning run was scored, I mean, that itself was a treat to watch. You can go back and look and watch the video. I thought this was amazing that they wanted it so much. They just grinded it out and grinded it out and grinded it out and won that game. But all credit to these last pair. That they are the ones, because 9 runs, 10 runs, that game was still in FCC's hand. But look at the way in which they batted. No unnecessary risk. If there is a bad ball bowled, this guy hit him onto the offside. But it was an amazing innings. Both of them collected the wides, and the bowler obliged too. So all congrats to Patriots.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're trying to get that winning moment. Are you, Satya?
Yeah, I think you can drag it all the way to the end, really. Because most of them, I think, just pull it off as they walk off after the game. So
56.
Yeah, that should be it. This is the last over? Yeah, Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah, can we get some audio there? Or?
That's the...
Yeah, look at the elation. I mean, this is what cricket in DCL is all about. I mean, it was amazing. It was a treat to watch, I thought. And I'm sure it was equally gut-wrenching on the other side. I mean,
right.
You come all the way and then you know that this was the game you had to win. But congrats to Patriots, though.
Was it the person that just scored that last run? Is that the guy you said resembled Pana?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I actually thought that was Pana.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Pana plays for the opposition. Pana plays for
I know,
FCC.
right? Yeah. And then
FCC,
I realized
yeah.
He's actually the opposition. Yes. Although he did play for the Patriots the last season, didn't he? In 2019.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I guess when he comes on the show today, we can ask him why did he switch back.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Okay, next game, I think the Raptors Safari, I think it was pretty one-sided game. But I think I would like to comment on Safaris and what they have achieved. It's been a promising season for Safaris, being at the bottom of the basement. And it's come to an end, but I think they should take a lot of heart from the season. At one point of time, they did look like they could have a shot, just like SSK. They had like a chance there where like teams like Safaris and Thunderbolts, and they were really performing well, more than what people would have expected. But in this case, Raptors made sure that there were no more upsets this weekend. Uh, Safaris, batting first, they scored the 67 runs. That was never going to break a sweat for Raptors. And our Bahubali of DCL made sure that there was no fuss about it. He top scored again, scoring 1/3 of the runs on his own, and made really light of the situation. Uh, and if you look at him, like I've seen him bat, he reminds me so much of Inzi, and no pun intended with the the body structure, but just the way he bats. He has so much time in the world, and he plays like fast bowling as if like it's in slow motion. And as they say famously, when he hits, it stays hit. It's very true in his case. Like very seldom does he hit the ball and it doesn't cross the boundary. And what's heartening for Raptors is in the last few games, we've seen their bowling starting to dominate. So the first few games of the season or the start of mid-season, it was a batting, and bowling was not there yet. People on the opposition side were scoring or matching their scoring. So it was a low scoring affair. They lost a couple of bonus points as well in that fashion. But the bowling is coming up, and ever since Pradeep has come on the show and mentioned that they're a bowling side, their bowlers have been proving him right. And also, met Pradeep Kota, he's recovered from the finger injury in time, so he's going to be key for Raptors coming into the playoffs. And the only thing I think Raptors need to be careful of it is that they take on the red hot MCC Miles, and they, the red hot Rahul Chenna would be something which will definitely keep Pradeep, awake at night, hoping that that performance he doesn't repeat that, like just like how Sachin did twice. Hopefully Rahul Chenna doesn't do it twice over. And I think I'm still waiting for Sanjay to kick in. So it might be the Sanjay Rahul show for them against the Raptors. But Safaris, I was talking about them. They've provided great entertainment, and I, for one, I'm hoping that the team gets better and grows coming to the next year. I think with the talent they have, our golden boy Murtini, who we've coined the name, he's been a star performer for them. He's in the top 10 player rankings, and he's really dominated this season for them. So it's definitely right direction in which Safaris are going, and I would be keenly looking for both these teams, Safaris and SSK. So DCL committee is organizing this Contenders Cup. I think both Safaris and SSK are going to be two teams I think I'll be looking for, being serious threat to the Contenders Cup.
Yeah, Parthiv, do you know Shoaib Akhtar told that the most difficult batsman he found to bowl to was Inzamam-ul Haq. He could never get Inzamam-ul Haq out in the practice sessions which he used to bowl. He said Inzamam had all the time in the world. He said no batsman he has ever bowled to ever had as much ease in playing him like Inzamam had. So for what it is worth, high praise for Amarendra Nuwala.
Absolutely. I think, some of the players are just gifted. Like, I think in the current scenario, I think Rohit Sharma is one of them. He has so much time in the world. It's just lazy elegance he shows.
And that's what is the hallmark of the better players, right? The players that seem to be able to slow time in a sense and have that extra time on their hands and make it look easier.
Yeah, the next game on the cards, another game where the points mattered because of the position, and this is one game where two teams were keenly following. One is obviously Kings 11, and the other team, was us strikers. We were following this game very closely. We knew that Kings 11 had the tiebreaker on us. They had the higher number of wins, so a win here would have placed them higher because we were tied on head to head. We had higher run rate, but we knew that the tiebreaker was the higher win. So this win definitely put them above us. We we barely scraped through. We came in at the last position, but we were hoping that Kings 11 would basically lose this game or maybe even drop a point, but that didn't happen. Both Sai Karodi and Sai Sunil made sure that there was no mess up. But Kings 11 just basically made sure that even though they were chasing like 70 odd, there wasn't any hiccups. And Spartans, they elected to bat, and they were decently placed. I was checking the scorecard, and they were decently placed at 66 for 5 in 19.19 some overs. And then they collapsed. Cycle stand collapsed. Got completely all out by 71. And after that, 71 is an easy score for Kings 11 batting. Playing them twice over, I know that they have potential. They are a really good batting side. And for Kings 11 this year, Sunil Somar has been outstanding, and he's pretty much delivered every game. And I would say even to that extent that he's the reason why Kings 11 have won so many games. And you can see it. I saw that he's got 5 man of the match awards out of the 6 games that Kings 11 have won. And that basically, proves that point that he's been, outstanding for Kings 11. And for the Spartans, go ahead. Sorry, somebody.
Nothing,
Okay.
Partho. After you're done, I'll just add a quick comment.
And as for the Spartans, I think it was another case of the flattering to be deceived. They started the season well, and just like a lot of the teams, they've had a pretty decent run at the start. But as the series, as the tournament has gone through, they've lost a couple of close games that they could have won. And I think that's the hallmark of some of the bigger teams, that they find ways to win games. And I think for Spartans, that's been missing. They've lost a couple of games which they could have won. And only apart from their captain, Nadeem, who's been performing consistently, I don't think anyone has stepped up for Spartans. Kings 11 take on Legends. And I think it's just like how I would put it to my team. I think Vijay should probably just tell this team, just go and express yourself and take the bull by its horns. There's no shame in going down fighting. So I would say Vijay would probably want to do the same with his team.
Yeah, the only concern I have with Kings 11 is the number of wides they gave in the last match. In the past, we said that they were an extremely disciplined bowling unit, but in this game, I thought they gave up 21 wides, if I'm not mistaken, out of that 71 runs which they gave. So that is something which really would bother me going into a game. Look at that, 21 wides. So that's a lot of wides to give up, especially in 22 overs. So that's the only concern I have. But I think congrats to them. This is the very first year they're forming, right? And they have gone straight into the playoffs.
Yeah, so, I think they've changed their name. I think it was I forget what their original name was, but yeah, they I don't think it's a brand new team. I think there were some players who moved.
Was it called Kites or something like that before?
Yes, I think it was Kites.
I believe so.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. So then it's not a brand new team. All right. Nevertheless, it's a tremendous accomplishment to make the playoffs. So all credit to them, and congrats to Vijay. Come on.
Okay, so the next game was the KRCC Detroit Bulls, and this was round 2. And just like round 1, KRCC won by by virtue of a knockout. If on one end I think we see Hardeep Singh bludgeoning, on the other side it is Malik Patel. I think both these batsmen have been having an outstanding season with the bat. Time after time they've been scoring runs in heap. Not only just a few good innings, but long innings like the 40s and 50s and 70s, those kinds of innings. And what's there has been this thinking that you can get Malik Patel out by giving him placing fielders and basically stopping the runs, choking him, but this year around, and I think I've mentioned it in previous shows, he's been handling that very maturely. All his innings have been 40s and 50s, but has been run a ball or just about. So and he's been hitting the big 60s and the 4s as well, but he's taking his time. He's waiting for his balls, waiting for his turn. and selecting and being very selective, and that's been the maturity which he's developed in this season. And what's happened is because of him, the likes of Vihar and Jasneet and Satish and Omkar, they're basically happy to provide that support role for this beast. Malik with the bat, Jasneet with the ball, KRCC definitely, and how can we forget the magician? He's obviously been a core member of the bowling unit for KRCC, so that definitely has added a lot of value for this game. I would say Detroit Bulls. I think they would have been happy with the 90 odd that they scored, and their lone warrior as over the period of time, season after season, Gino has been the lone warrior, and just like every other season, he's been the standout performer. And it wasn't enough. The 90 runs wasn't enough. Satish and Malik, basically cantered in style. It was unfortunate for Malik that he was stranded for 48, missed out on another 50, which is hard to come by in DCL. So, it was rather unfortunate that he was left not out on 48. But all in all, a very convincing win. Detroit Bulls, I think they've always been a good team. They've shown fight in the previous season, but this time I think they have been a little meek. And just like I was talking about some teams that haven't changed the gear and haven't stepped up to the next level, I think Detroit Bulls also falls in that zone there, where they are missing some of the power hitters. They are missing some of the new generation of DCL. And that's basically been the difference. They haven't been able to score the high hundreds, high 120s. So that's going to be the difference maker. I think if you don't score 100, 120 consistently, you're not going to win. KRCC take on Troy Hawks, which is going to be a surprise. And I think seeing the two scorecards, umpiring the Troy Hawks game, I think it's going to be a walk in the park for KRCC, literally. And especially now that they have the services of Tamim. Tamim has qualified, so he adds that oomph factor for KRCC as well. So with Jasneet, Tamim, Malik, Ronak, definitely they have the ammunition to get past Hawks easily. Vijay?
Parthiv, go ahead. Since we had so much to cover, I was just going to give you the free run on all these things.
I was just making sure.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah, the next game was the one which we found a way to lose. Legends, even without Harish or without Sandeep Upadi, I think they are still a very, very, very formidable side. And they proved it, over and over again. So this is not like one-off win where Harish wasn't there. I think they've won a few games now with Harish not there. And on the other hand, strikers have somehow discovered different ways to self-destruct and lose games. Throughout the season, I think there were at least two games that I can recall where we had no business of losing, and we still were able to lose. This game was obviously going to be a tall order for us to start with. And the only time that we actually thought that we were in the game was the first 12 overs of the Legends batting, where we really, really bowled well. Our bowlers really bent the backs, really bowled outstandingly. 12 overs, 24. And we thought that an over here or over there where we could pick up a couple of wickets and the game could change on its hand. But on the other hand, I also knew that, when you're defending 76 over here or over there where you leak runs, like 9 or 10 runs, that itself also gives it away. In this game, I think Praveen Artikala was amazing. He was spot on. He rocked our strikers batting with the wickets in a bunch. And well supported by Guru and Naga, but they didn't have to do a lot of it. The damage was done pretty early on by Praveen. And obviously, as a captain, I'm going to be very critical about the team, but there's very little to write for strikers on the batting and bowling. This game was pretty much a wash for us. There wasn't anyone who stood up. No partnerships, no real depth in the batting. Never really got the momentum. And Legends batting looks rock solid. And when Harish and Sandeep come in, I think it's going to be even better, where they're going to be a serious challenge. As we all know, probably following Mishka, Harish has been having an outstanding season. He was the top scorer even in the semis. Unfortunately, they lost, but that means Satish will have his services now through the end of the season. So that makes it interesting. Our loss, we were hoping that we could get at least a bonus point. That didn't happen. So now We take on the monumental task to face Glad's at top seed, whereas Legends take on Kings 11. So both these games are probably heavier. Odds are stacked against both the teams, Kings 11 and Strikers. But on a day, it's basically anybody's game. All right, the next game, Blasters Hitmen. Hitmen is another team. I think again showing a lot of potential, and lot to look forward to when they started early in the season. But I think their inexperience has shown over a period of time, and in a long tournament like DCL, you need that consistency. You need that time after time, day after day, coming out and performing. And it's not just one day, one game. It's like 10 games and through 10 weekends, and you have so many factors which affect it. And that's basically what I think Hitman will learn through the season. Their season has ended, but I think there's a lot to learn and a lot of great things that they'll take back. And especially in a game like facing the likes of Ravi Teja and Deepak, it was always going to be a tall order, and both of them, executed perfectly. 4 wickets and 3 wickets to them respectively, and they weren't even able to. The Hitmen weren't able to tickle the Blasters. Really, literally, Blasters have been with their bowling have been kind of blasting the opposition out, and their batting really hasn't been tested. They have had an easier time in most of the games, probably because of the impact bowling that they have. Barring a couple of games, I don't think that the batting has really been tested. So I think the mantra for beating the Blasters is going to be simple: do not give too many wickets to Deepak and Ravi Teja, and even for that matter, Imti. And then try to get as many runs as on the board, because once you get the
That's
runs
the
on the
problem
board,
with teams like this, right? Who are you going to attack? They're just going to keep coming at you one after the other. I mean, Ravi
that is
Teja
true.
and Deepak Raj together, good God, that's a handful.
That's true. But I think if you look at the pattern, I think a lot of teams have fallen in that hole where they've given up too many wickets to both of them. And then after that, even the lesser bowlers, I don't consider them lesser bowlers, but in comparison, in relative sense,
Right.
you're always on the back foot. So no matter where, who the bowler is, you're always going to find them better than what they are. So
Mhm.
I think, my basically my saying or my opinion is, you don't give them wickets. You basically hold your wickets. Try to kind of attack the rest of the bowlers. And once you get the runs on the board, I think there is a fair chance. Then there is a chance for you to go after Blasters, because I think, as I mentioned, the batting hasn't been tested yet. So it's going to be interesting to see them chase like a score of 110, 120. That probably will happen down the road in the playoffs when they come against the bigger teams, and they are taking on GLCC. Even though we all know GLCC is kind of capitulated this season. The high and now the low. It's going to be an interesting affair. GNCC
Right.
has lost its mojo, but anything can happen in that game because GLCC has that experience which they bring in the playoffs. So it's going to be an
True.
interesting battle.
Yep. And speaking of GLCC, there they are.
Yeah, speaking of GLCC, there they are. And to be honest, I mean, I was really skeptical about this loss of GLCC. I don't know whether this was something which was in what what they would like to have as of their standing. Because now, as I think GLCC, if they had won, I think they would have faced
Pokeries.
Pokeries, right?
Yep.
And I don't know whether they fancy Blasters over Pokeries, but knowing GLCC, I don't think they would have manipulated the situation that much, because I think they I've played with them, I've been around them. They basically play to win, and they don't care about who they're going to face. But I think in the end, it probably may have turned out that way for them, that they have avoided facing Pokeries, and they would rather take on Blasters. I don't know. I mean, that's just my guess, but it was
Unless
pretty
they
surprising.
horribly miscalculated. I mean, it's forget about not wanting to play Pokeries. I wouldn't say anything on that side, but
Right.
I I'm fairly certain they wouldn't purposely want to face Blasters either. I mean, that would not just smack of confidence, that would smack of arrogance. And I don't think, considering their recent performances, they would be in that frame of mind. So
Yeah, I think you're right. Probably is a miscalculation, and the miscalculation might be because of the ways of the other results have planned out. That might have
possibly, yes.
thrown their calculation. But again, I think it might be just that we're reading into it too much. It might be a loss with GLCC. Just basically they haven't. We've seen the recent performances. They haven't been able to capitalize on a lot of the issues. And I think the focus has been, for some reason, I find it really strange, is to qualify people, to get people into those qualifying. And if you look at their uh, people who have qualified, they have a pretty deep roster. They pretty much managed to qualify everyone, including Manpreet Singh and Navpreet Singh and pretty much everyone. They haven't performed. Navpreet and Manpreet have been a flop show so far, but they have still been able to. They still made sure that they play, and they have been able to qualify. So there's definitely that plan which is going on to make sure that these guys qualify, because like both Manpreet and Navpreet I can still see because he bowls and he gives that added dimension. But there was no point of continuing with Manpreet Singh because we've talked about it. He's no longer the player that he used to be. So there's definitely that hope that Manpreet Singh will deliver, and that's why Smith has been adding him. He's been playing all the games, and GLCC has been focusing on getting people qualified rather than going with their best 11. In this game, I think Canton 11 really literally had nothing to lose, and they basically must be having all the fun. But and even at the halfway stage, they must have GLCC must have thought that they had the game in the wraps, but come their batting, they just basically never were able to build partnerships. They kept losing wickets after wickets, and I don't know whether it was the Canton bowling which should be given credit, or was it just the bad batting of GLCC that they were never able to stitch partnerships between them? Because if you look at the bowling, there wasn't one outstanding bowler from Canton 11. It was pretty much shared between everyone, so everyone was bowling really well, and just getting those wickets in at regular intervals. So this loss has definitely dented GLCC's chances, which we at least I had them as hot favorites starting the season. So it's definitely dented that confidence. But again, playoffs is a different ball game, different nature, different animal. So we nothing can be said. But I would definitely. I'm definitely disappointed with the way the last few games have turned out for them, and the way they have still haven't figured out like the opening combination and who comes in the middle, who's going to bowl. I think there's still too many experimentation going on in the GLCC lineup.
I just had a vision of Samish probably watching our show. I don't know if he is, but leaning back in his chair and giving that quiet, sinister smile of his and saying, "We'll show you who we are in the playoffs," with the experience that we have. So, so hopefully,
Absolutely.
maybe they might.
Yeah, and probably in the playoff game, that is the one game. Probably, if I had to choose which game I would go and watch, probably this is the game. GLCC Blasters would be the game I would go and watch. Because every other game, I mean, I think I can predict this is going to be a. I mean, yes, on current form, Blasters definitely have the edge, but again, it's the 3-time winners or 4-time winners that we're talking about. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, my thought on that is, Parthiv, I don't think GLCC deliberately lost this game. I find that difficult to believe. I think Canton 11. Let's give them credit. I think going into this game, I did tell you that this was going to be a close game. I expected GLCC to win, but I thought I didn't think Canton 11 was going to roll over and die. Knowing Javed, I knew that he was going to come and put his best team out there and then give his best. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, at least he can walk away with his head held high. I think that's exactly what happened. And I'm not entirely surprised with the result because I feel that GLCC has been not making a lot of smart decisions. I mean, somehow I have questioned many of the decisions which they have made. I think somehow this so-called theory that, we are trying all these things. Somehow I don't buy it. I think if you try it, you make sure it works also. So I can understand it not working once, but honestly speaking, I think they have lacked on the batting end, and their bowling also has not been up to the mark. And even if you look at this game, their batting was all over the place. You had Navpreet Singh opening. Honestly, I never considered Navpreet Singh to be an opener. So I'm not even sure what the logic there is.
Oh, it's funny you say that, Vijay. He actually opens the batting in almost all the formats he plays in, and
yeah,
has done so for a while.
But again, it depends on who the skipper there is, right? I mean, again, I think that it's a hit or miss
Oh yeah, that's the deal
proposition.
with him. Right.
Yeah. So when you are doing a hit or miss, oftentimes what happens is most of the times it's going to be a miss. So that's why, it's like investing in the stock market. If you're trying to play the long waiting game and you are going to be a Warren Buffett, you're going to make money in the long run. But if you're getting in there for a speculation, most people, they think they are extremely smart, but they lose money in the short run. So somehow I don't feel that works really. I mean, whatever is the logistics, they have better openers than that. So somehow I don't buy that theory, and I think many of the decisions have been pretty questionable, at least for me. I think it was bad decision making. I don't mind telling it straight to Samish that honestly, I am not very enamored with many of the decisions which have been made where they have lost the games. And honestly, I expect better because they have a lot more talent. You ask any one of these analysts, they'll tell you, what, the amount of talent which is there is unbelievable. It's pretty good. Right. They beat Pokhris, and Pokhris is the number 2 unit from Pool C. So you're telling me now all of a sudden that GLCC should be the number 5 team out of Pool C. I find that very difficult to believe. You have some very good players there, but I somehow feel that they have underperformed. And we have been telling this, and we have been making excuses for GLCC. Let's stop making excuses for GLCC. They flat played bad, and Canton 11 took them to the cleaners. They took them to the woodshed and whipped them around. That's exactly what happened. Canton 11 won the game fair and square. I don't think this was a deliberate loss. This was a loss which was given to them. Now, would I like to play GLCC if I am Glads right in round 1? Certainly not. Again, Parthu identified the problem. The problem is it's a 4-time champion. And the problem is a 4-time champion doesn't roll over and die. And the problem is a 4-time champion is just going to come there and he's going to make you earn the victory. And now all these bad decisions which have been going out, all of a sudden, as you said, it's the sinister smile. Well, guess what? You might see some shocker which can happen. So unfortunately for Blasters, they'll have to see GLCC right in round 1. And if you ask me, Blasters have the toughest route to win the championship, whether they like it or not. If you ask me, of all the 16 teams, which team has the toughest path to the championship? Blasters have the toughest path. That's my personal opinion. It's rather unfortunate for Blasters because right in round 1, they have to play GLCC. In round 2, they probably have to play KRCC. And if they get past that, guess what? The winner of Glad Strikers and the winner of Sterling Strikers Dynamites awaits them. And that's not going to be an easy game either. And then you get to the final. Obviously, whoever makes to the final is not a puff pastry team either. They're going to be coming there to win it. So it's going to be a very tough ask. So, but yeah, I mean, again, as Parthu said, I think it'll be very interesting to watch the GLCC Blasters game.
Yep. And just before we go into that one final game for the analysis, I'd like to welcome the guy who I always knew first as the guy that umpires 3 out of every 5 games, and I actually named him Simon Toffel. So a very hearty welcome to the Simon Toffel of DCL, who also happens to be a pretty good bowler. Pana, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Welcome, Pana. Happy to see you after a long time.
Yeah, same here, Vijay. How are you?
So
I'm doing good. It's good to see you. And today you are here as the expert analyst. We'll be asking you some tough questions, and we are going to ask you to. I'm just giving you the modulus operandi. I'm giving you the playbook. I'm telling you that I'll be asking you to even pick the players on each team who should play the 11. So obviously, just be prepared. Satya, did we decide which side is Pana picking? Let's get. Okay, you know what? Let Pana pick the
the look
side.
on Satya's face suggests that that decision was not made.
Okay, okay. Pana, the glad side of this thing is what you're going to be looking at, all right? Because Vijay Shanmugam is the other person who's going to be analyzing 4 games. And since Vijay Shanmugam is on the glad side, we'll have him analyze the opposite side, you see, so that there's no conflicts. So just giving you a heads up.
Okay, sure.
And just bear with us while we analyze this one last game. And if you have any opinions, please, Pana, feel free to speak up. You're here now. Sure. You're part of our panel.
Okay, thank you. Sure, I'll do that.
Yep.
All right. So the last game of the weekend was the Troy Hawks SSK game, and SSK. I mean, my heart goes out to them. They played really well this season. They've managed to really be a team that is going to be very, very sad to not make it to the playoffs. Making 28 points and still not being able to get to the playoffs is unfortunate when 2 other teams at lesser points are going to the playoffs. So, but such is the draw, such is the rules, such are the tiebreakers which are inserted in place. So I feel bad for SSK, but they've really been a team to watch out for. I mean, if you had to kind of put a name to one team that has been on the improvement, or the team to which has made the leap, I would say SSK would be my vote. In this game, SSK won the toss and elected to chase, and I think that's been the preferred method. I've seen they do that quite a few times this season, and Sai Prakash caused that early wreck and had the Troy Hawks on the back foot at the start. But Kaushik Chipidi, if I'm saying it right, basically he single-handedly ensured that there was a recovery, and if you look at the recovery, it's outstanding that he single-handedly kind of brought them to that 110 total. It was 6 for 32 at one point, and from there to posting 110 is quite outstanding, and giving Troy Hawks a really good chance in the game. But his efforts in the end obviously were in vain. I mean, they could have scored more if they had more support, but even a score of 110, I would say, was good after being 6 for 32. But that late middle order, I mean, on the SSK side, that chase was held together by Vinod Aganathan. And then the late middle order support from Siva and Vikas made sure that SSK got through to the end. And I think the success, I was looking at the stats, the Troy Hawks' success this year has been attributed through that to the all-round effort of Kaushik. Not only does he stand out in the bat, but also with the ball. He's been kind of the standout performer for them all round, and he's one of the big reasons why they are in the playoffs. And so comfortably placed in that tricky pool A. For SSK, it's been with the ball. They haven't have an outstanding batting season, but it's been Priyesh and Kalyan who have been awesome. Priyesh with the ball and Kalyan with his, I think, all-round capabilities. They've been kind of the standout performers for them, and the late inclusion of Mega Sai coming into the playoffs is definitely going to add to the Troy Hawks batting and bowling, because he gives them both the dimensions, and it's going to be interesting to see how they stack up against KRCC, because Jasneet and Malik, and I mentioned, they are definitely red hot form. So although I don't give Troy Hawks that chance to kind of cause that upset, I think they have nothing to lose. They basically could go and just play the best game and see how it ends up. But KRCC definitely is the heavy favorites there for me.
Now SSK didn't qualify because of the results of the Gladiators game. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct, Avi. Right. I actually owe SSK an apology in the sense that as far as your SSK, I mean, you have to feel for SSK, Because
Right.
SSK going into Saturday morning, they are probably thinking, and just like everybody else, win and we are in the playoffs. Because agreed that yes, Glads have to beat Miles, but probably the odds-on favorite there going into that game was, yeah, Glads will take care of business. But going into the Glads game, I did tell in our private group that this will be the toughest game, and I can show you the text to prove that. And Satya can say that I did say that. Before we played MCC Miles, Avinash, I'm telling you, in the Glads WhatsApp group, I texted, this will be the toughest game a Glads skipper has had to skipper in a long, long time. There were a number of reasons for me texting that, but I was bang on target. But then again, once you score 194, you don't think somebody is going to come and overhaul that target. So
Exactly, and that
if
leads
you're
me.
if you're SSK, I mean, you did all the job and you scored that 111 runs, and you find that the Glads guys ditched you. You feel like a bride left at the altar. That's exactly what the Glads team did to SSK. And
So
I
Right,
one
and
thing
honestly,
I wanted,
yeah,
I wanted to bring up is like this innings of Rahul Chenna, the 112, which had like
yeah,
15 sixes. Knowing the circumstances, knowing the situation or the the game, as well as the the outcome of it, I would rate this innings as probably the best in DCL. I know there have been many centuries.
I thought I had it set up perfectly to lead into bringing it, but you guys are taking it away. That's fine. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
so I think we got on
there.
top.
There was a reason.
Parthiv, I hate you. All right, let me tell you, I hate you because I was planning to say this line, and then you have taken the line away from me.
And
What
I
nonsense
had
is going? I mean, I already a game was stolen right under our noses. Okay, and now the line has also been stolen right under my nose. Come on, man.
and I told you guys,
Okay.
as the host of this show, I reserve the right to introduce him to our audience and lead into it. I asked all the right questions, and you guys just keep talking
Oh,
and
I forgot.
talking
I
and
forgot we
talking.
had him on the show.
So
Oh my God.
zip,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. I'll keep that conversation when he comes in.
but
But yes.
no matter how spontaneous I try to appear now, it's going to look like I just scripted this anyway. So, I guess, yeah, like you guys said, right? If you're told SSK that your only chance of getting thrown out is Gladiators losing, I mean, who the hell would have thought that that's even going to happen? So, yes, indeed,
Yeah.
SSK would probably be stunned and shell shocked. And there was
To
one
be
person
honest,
that is
I think
responsible for
Vijay
that.
needs to apologize to a lot of teams. I think Glad's losing has spoiled a lot of the plans. Like I think a lot of
No,
teams
no,
had.
no. We only spoiled the plans of. We still took the number one spot by taking that bonus point. So that prediction was right. But
Right.
where we really messed up was poor SSK guys. Okay,
Right.
Lingappan must be thinking, you know what? He needs to next time send some sweets to the Glad skipper or something like that. Come on, man. You don't expect to score 194 and lose the game. All right. So
Right.
in all honesty, when Lingappan probably at the halfway mark saw 194 on the board, Lingappan would have been saying, guys, all we have to do is score 111 and we are in. And that's why I offered the public apology to Lingappan and SSK. I honestly felt that we did them a disservice, after they did all the hard work, because all they had to do was win, and they did win. But unfortunately, we didn't do our part of the bargain. So
Right.
one
Satya,
man took it.
Satya, please
one-
give me admin rights. I need to mute some people now. I need to.
one man took away the game away from everybody. So
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
if you want to blame anybody, blame Rahul Chenna. Don't blame us.
And speaking
Okay.
of the man, he's there.
So-
I think I see him join.
Okay, guys, you know what? I think you guys have said everything there is to say. Yes, Parthiv, go ahead, say that as well. Speaking of the man, he is right here. So,
He's
Rahul,
right
I'm
here.
sorry. Rahul, I'm very sorry. I had a lovely piece written about you to try and bring you on this show, and these two people, fellow analysts,
He
have
wants to use the word which starts with A. All right.
these guys have completely ruined everything. So all I have left to say is, Rahul Chenna, welcome on the show. It was a great performance last week.
Yeah, thank
And I am very sorry your intro has gotten deflated though so badly. But
But go ahead, Avi. Please say your intro. That's okay. That's
Yeah.
fine.
it's just going
It
to
was
sound it's going to sound
it's a one.
pathetically scripted.
No, it's okay. That's fine. You can go ahead and read it. That's fine. Because I also have some scripted notes which I wrote for myself because I went back and saw this innings. And guess what? I'm not the only guy who went back and saw this innings. My the skipper for the day was not Satya Velayutham. It was Kishan Kanangetty. He also went back and saw the innings to see what went wrong. You get my point? So a few of us. So I just wrote down a few notes just to on my own thoughts, but please go ahead and do it because it's a once
Sure,
in a
and
lifetime
Parthiv
innings.
also said, speaking of the man, he's right here. Parthiv, you've done the host job as well. You know what? My wife probably has a very angry expression on her face there in the hall saying, okay, it's only been an hour. There's going to be another 2 hours before this bugger comes and gets me my dinner. So you know what? Do my job. Thank you very much. I have to go save my marriage. So but no, but Rahul, I think it was a stupendous performance, and I think we are thrilled to have you here on our show right the week after that because I think you're the toast of the league at the moment, and we are very very excited to have you on here. And so kudos to that innings and welcome on the show, Rahul.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Sure, yeah.
So Rahul, as soon as the game got over, I told Satya, have Rahul Chenna come on the show. If he's willing to come on, we should have him on the show because these kind of special moments happen once in a lifetime or once in a blue moon. So, I mean, yeah, we are on the wrong side of the equation, but when it happens, you have to appreciate it for what it is. Otherwise, why are you playing the sports? When you play a sport, you win some and you lose some. But if somebody does a fantastic job, you have to appreciate that also. But I'll let Parthiv go because I do have some things which I did want to say. But Avi, are you done?
He's done long way.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I am.
I
All right.
stole the thunder. Sorry, Avi.
That's okay.
But yeah, I wanted to basically mention, I've been playing DCL for the last 15 years, 16 years. I've seen a lot of great innings, a lot of great centuries, and especially this season, the runs have been piling on. People have been getting a lot of runs, but knowing the context of this game, knowing the opposition, knowing what you guys had to do it. It's been, to be honest, the best DCL season, the DCL innings that as it has been witnessed. So my question to you was, going into bat, looking at the score of 194, 196 to chase, what did you tell yourself, especially going down late in the order, like you were probably like 7 in the batting lineup. So at that point of time, the game was pretty much in Glad's bucket, and then you just basically stole it away. So talk us about that process. What went through?
Um, yeah, I mean, like once the innings was done, Glad scored all the way 190 odd runs, and it was a huge target. It's not easy to score those many runs, like
Right.
chasing under pressure. But I think we had enough batting. Like we have been scoring 130, 140 odd runs, like pretty much from the past 2 games. So I definitely had faith in our batting. So if we can get a good start, probably we can chase it down. But I think thanks to Brahma and Jaswant, they showed the way, like how they started the innings. They got us like 40 odd runs, like in 6 overs. So that set the momentum, but we lost it like in just 1 or 2 overs. Like we
Mm-hmm.
got like 6. We were down by 6 wickets, and it was like 55 for 7. And I was like, okay, probably there is nothing much for us to lose. So let's try what we can do. And I tried to set my eye in, and maybe after 1 or 2 overs, once I got going, I felt comfortable and I was middling it. And then Arvind supported me well, and we were able to uh, take the game deep. And I think maybe after 18th over, we thought of taking a power play, and then I think it was the right moment. We got the power play, and that carried the momentum all the way to the 25th over. But yeah, as I told it, there was nothing much to lose for us, so we wanted to give it a shot.
Oh, what a shot it was! I mean, you had 15 hits to the over the fences, which basically means 90 runs out of your 112
Right.
are just basically out of the ground. So there wasn't much running. So you weren't tiring yourself. Was that a deliberate thing, like just not tire myself and just keep hitting out?
Yeah, I think one idea was not to tire myself to hit the maximums, but I think I had an ankle injury. Like I missed out few of the games early in the season, so I got back from that ankle injury. So I don't want to miss my ankle again. So I was trying to max it out. Now I think luckily I got all the maximums.
Nice. And then, I mean, last question for me. I mean, there was there was a moment in time when you guys lost those last 2 wickets, or maybe the last but 2 wickets at that 161.
Right.
Talk to us about, like, how did you change your game strategy? You still needed, I think, 28, 30 odd runs from there.
Right.
What were you planning the MS Dhoni way, that I'm going to keep the strike?
That's I yeah, definitely I was inspired from those innings from Dhoni. Uh, yeah, I had few of those innings. Like last year, I had one game where we were chasing like 16 odd runs in the last over, and I was able to get those runs. So same thing. So I wanted to keep the strike to myself, and I told Mahesh, saying, whatever it is, it's going to be my responsibility. You don't take any of the blame. So let it be whatever is going to happen. And by the time we already got the bonus point, but I think 2 overs, 35 runs is like huge.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations from my side. Those were some of the questions I had. Outstanding innings, and I basically am going to recommend the committee to do something to honor you. Definitely an outstanding. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
I would like to add something about Rahul here. Actually, in one of the Mission Cup quarterfinal matches, I think MCC match, they lost like 6 wickets for 10 odd runs. Then Rahul came. He started hitting without any pressure, like losing 6 wickets for 10 runs, and only Sanjay was left at the time. So, and Sanjay didn't take any initiative at the time because he was blocking the ball, but Rahul started hitting like anything. So I thought he's going to do something special. I was umpiring that match. I thought he was doing something special, but he was disturbed by a comment made by Stars captain Harry from the dugout, saying that, why are you letting this tail-ender bat? And he got next ball out, bowled. So, but I was expecting this kind of innings there from Rahul, but because they were for 10 for 6, then they went up to 44, like within no time. Like he was taking the game away from them. Like he was striking so good. Like, and I know Rahul from years, and I know he strikes the ball, but I always think that he has this focus issue, like when he suddenly loses the focus. But I feel bad that I couldn't watch this innings against Glads. Like I was following the score online, and I was telling everybody that Rahul can clearly win this match for miles, and I'm glad he did it. But the only disappointment for me is that I didn't see the match. But
it's
Rahul,
available.
congrats.
It's available on Facebook, Pana. Unfortunately, Glads always record all their games. Unfortunately, Satya was not at the game. So Satya has the ability to post it directly to YouTube. And since Satya was not there, we were not able to post it to YouTube. So Kishan recorded it using Facebook Live. And so if you go and unfortunately, I'm not on Facebook. There is a Glads Facebook account. So I use that Glads Facebook account to access that. But somebody has to send me a link. So I got a link, and then I went and watched it.
Hello.
Okay.
So that the whole match is available, And I do not know if there is a way to download it from Facebook to YouTube and put it there, because this needs to be there in the history books at least. But if everybody is done, I have a few comments which I wanted to make. First thing is, I feel like coming there and I feel like squeezing Rahul Chenna's neck, and I feel like killing him. I really feel like it already. I mean, I hate this Chenna guy, Brian. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, but yeah, I mean, of course, you guys know I'm kidding, but it was a fantastic innings. As soon as the innings got over, I remember texting Ram Saladi, because I always had very good friendship with Miles guys. I always liked their team, and Ram Saladi was a good friend of mine, and Ajay Bhatt is a very good friend of mine. So I always had a very soft corner for both of them. So I sent an immediate text to Ram, and I said, Ram, what an unbelievable innings by Rahul Chenna. I was blown away by the quality of the innings. Now, granted, it happened against my own team, but still, it was an outstanding quality of an innings. It was a treat to watch, and it was. And I wish it had come against somebody else. And again, I'm just telling the raw emotions what I had. But this was the best I have seen anyone bat in DCL this year. Can you please pass on my sincere congratulations and appreciation to him and to the entire Miles team for a fantastic victory, and double congratulations to Miles for making the playoff. Now remember, this is as soon as the game got over, this is the first comments which is coming out of my mind, you see. And then I had a chance to reflect on the game. I had a chance to talk to Kishan Kanangati, who was the skipper for this game. And then Arjun Ajbani called me. And then we discussed about this amazing innings, and that how Blacks could have lost after scoring 194 runs. And then Arjun said, man, that must be probably one of the greatest innings played in T-ball. And then I started thinking about it, and I started looking back. Now, I've been playing since 2001 in DCL, and this is 2021, and this is the 25th year of DCL. And I had to go back and take back my comments. I made a comment that this is the best innings I saw in DCL this year. Now, remember, that was right as soon as the innings was over. But when I went back and thought about it, I have to say, this was the single greatest innings I have ever seen in any form of cricket in T-ball. All right. I've seen so many T-ball games. I've seen FCC Cup games. I've seen all kinds of T-ball games, 20 T-ball games and 10-over T-ball games and all kinds of things. This was the greatest innings I have ever seen, because it came in a chase. The team had to win to get into the playoffs.
Right.
The team on the other end is the Goliath. Everybody wants David to beat Goliath. Everybody wants to beat the number one team. And going into this game, we were the number one team. And, we didn't take it lightly. I mean, we didn't necessarily have the best bowling attack, but at the same time, you score 194 runs, you should be able to defend that unless the opposition takes it away from you. And look at the situation. It is 53 for 7. And 53 for 7 to 197 for 9. And that is one man is taken that game and taken it by the scruff of its neck and hit it out of the park. And what I liked so much about it, it was a calm and collected chase. He was so calm and he was so collected in the run chase. At no point was he hurried. There were so many times he had an opportunity to take a single. He did not take a single. It reminded me of Dhoni. It was like this guy knew exactly at all points of time he's in control, where he knows exactly what needs to be done. And there is no panic. There was nothing. It was just taking what the bowler gives, playing according to the situation. If he doesn't want to expose the other end batsman, he refuses to take a single. Then a couple of balls later, boom, ball is gone out of the park. And every shot, Parthiv, it came right off the middle of the bat. Now, when you play that long an innings, you would think that there will be some sort of mishits and things like that. There was hardly. I mean, there was one or two chances which he gave. One chance was a tough chance. The other chance, Aditya lost it in the sun. But whatever it is, every batsman gets chances. And if somebody says that they don't get chances, please show me a liar. That's part of the game. That goes with the game. But the shots were right off the middle of the bat. And when they are hitting, it is clean six. There was absolutely nothing. It was a cold, calculated run chase. That's what I liked about it. And then 34 runs needed in the last 2 overs. Even at that time, I realized bonus is gone. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I thought, okay, we still win this game. But this is a question which I wanted to ask him, is what was going through his mind when he came in at 53 for 7. And he already said that, he thought that the game was out of hand. He thought, okay, let us just enjoy ourselves and see what we can do, kind of a thing. But I did want to ask him, when did he think it was really possible? At what stage did he really believe in? So I talked to Kishan. Kishan said somewhere around when they were around 140 or 150, he started feeling that, hey, this game we could lose. So these are fresh insights which I am giving Rahul Chenna, that this is what the Glatz skipper for the game felt. The way it was going, he felt, this game is slipping out of my hand. There's a very good chance that we might lose this game, somewhere around the 140, 150 mark. But then I was just blown away by the quality of this thing. He was simply smoking hot. And, sport is all about possibilities. And we dream about the spectrum of possibilities. But, if you ask me, on this day, Rahul Chenna conjured up all the possibilities. And none of us outside imagined that such a thing was possible. But if you ask me, praise falls flat. Superlatives simply pale. Comparisons do not seem to fit. It was an uncompromised and an unsurprising, unparalleled mastery at the crease. It was total mastery. It was a peerless achievement from the maestro himself. I honestly thought this was the best innings I've ever seen in T-ball. I'm happy I got to see it. Not just that I got to see it, I in fact went back and saw it a second time. And I only watched the Miles part of it. And I only watched it from 53 for 7. I did not watch the rest of the game. I really didn't care because I wanted to see. And some of the shots, Parthiv, these are good balls. And they were still deposited out of the park. That's what makes this such a great innings, was that, it's not just bad balls which are punished. Bad balls should be punished. But and every bad ball he got, he did punish it. He did send it out of the park. But there were some very good balls. He picked it and effortlessly sent it out of the park. You had the cut, you had the pull, you had the drive, you had the hook, you had the nudge. Everything was on display. If you ask me, it was sheer masterclass. And all I could do was shake my head in simple disbelief. And I could only say, on national television, I'll say, it was too good. It was simply too good. And there were a lot of times people, text me and say, Vijay, you don't talk about us. Hey, why don't you talk about this? We did this, we did that. And I always feel, perform and we'll talk about you. Perform and we'll make you into a superstar. And all I could say on this day, on that game, was that I just shook my head and said, it was simply too good. And even Kishan was wondering, where did he go wrong? And I honestly feel it was a superlative innings where a batsman took it away from you. And, they say that art is transcendental. And if you ask me, Rahul Chenna was transcendental on that day. He was absolutely fabulous. And you heard it right from the head of the Glatz unit that, I might be in India, but I enjoyed watching it, even though it came against my team. But that's what sport is all about. And if we can't admit the truth, then it doesn't speak much about us. And if we can admit people and appreciate them for what they do, let's just do that. Parthiv, I was going to tell it to you before you said this. Hey, do something special on DCL night for him, because it was that fabulous an innings. I hope you do it. Yeah, I am all for it. First of all, I think both the Centurions should be awarded, but this was simply the best innings. And I hope whoever does the talking, if I was there, I would have personally gone and done the talking and introduced Rahul Chenna. I don't think anybody else in DCL can introduce him as well as I can. I would have personally gone and done that, but I'm not there. But I hope somebody will appreciate it.
Avi will have a chance. Avi is normally the go-to comparer for DCL night. So I think Avi, you'll have your shot to introduce Rahul.
Nobody will disturb you.
Actually, do.
Yeah.
So
Hey, one
that-
one more thing before I forget. I think another record here for the game is, I think this is probably in terms of the number of sixes hit during the game. There were 35 sixes hit in a single game, which
Wow.
I think also should be a record. I don't know if it's somewhere, but that should be. I think I haven't seen so many sixes hit in one single game. So with Rahul's 15, Harpreet's 7, just basically if you add up all the total, I think there were 35 sixes hit in just a single game. That's outstanding.
Rashid, you're Teda, my friend. Welcome, Rashid. But just wanted to say he's here. He's also here to analyze some of the games. But Rahul, fantastic innings.
Great job.
needed to
Yep.
applaud you. It was a fantastic this thing. So you deserve every credit. If you ask me, you just all of a sudden became the superstar of the league, and congrats. It should have happened. It was a fabulous innings. It was one of the best innings I have ever seen. No, it is the best innings I have ever seen. It's forget the one of the best. It is the best innings I have ever seen. You deserve all the credit which comes to your way. I wanted you to hear it right from our own mouths, because after all, we play the game to achieve certain things in life, and you achieved everything, and you took your team to victory. What a way to go into the playoffs. Sure, I feel sorry for SSK. I apologize to them, but at the same time, what a way for Miles to go into the playoffs, and you carried them on your back. I hope Mr. Ram Saladi takes you out for an excellent dinner. If he doesn't, call him a stingy guy and take a ruler and whack his buttocks. That's what he needs.
Well, very well done, Rahul. I think I am going to have to jump in here if someone else already hasn't. Then I know Vijay just mentioned Rashid has just joined our show. Rashid, thank you so much for joining us again on the show. Your first outing here was a grand success. We all loved the way you spoke and the way you carried yourself. So it's a real pleasure, personally, to have you back on the show. And it is also a pleasure to have Vijay Shanmugam from Team Dynamites join us tonight on the show. I know Vijay is an ardent follower of our show, and as is evidenced by the comments he tends to send our way, even as the show is progressing. So thank you, Vijay, for coming here in person tonight.
Avi, your sound is echoing. So let's see.
Oh, is that right? I'm sorry. I don't know why that is happening.
Vijay has been silently criticizing the analysts because we've been we've been not giving Dynamites their due rights.
Thanks, Avinash. Thanks for having me here.
Sure. So I believe that is the full box for tonight. We are here to analyze the playoffs, the teams that made it, the teams that did not. So field is open, gentlemen.
So let's divide this up. Rashid, you are the master analyst. So yeah, we want you to analyze definitely certain games. So maybe we'll split it up. Initially, we were not sure if you were going to be able to make it to the show. But by the way, Rashid, I hope you watched the show where Mansab Butt was on the show. Did you watch the show when Mansab Butt was on the show? You're on mute, my friend.
Yeah, so Viju, I did not watch the show, but then I saw the recording later on after I got some comments. So I went back and looked at it, and now I know why you're mentioning that.
Okay, all right. So now you know what is the work which you have to do in case you guys are coming back, because Mansab Butt said he's gone. He's gone to Sterling Strikers. But after I started investigating him and I started asking some questions here and there, I found that Mansab Butt, you know what? He's not fully gone. He's still like, if Rashid does certain things, I still would consider playing for Brownstown. Yeah, I mean, I just need Rashid to do a few things and things like that. So all hope is not gone, my friend. I just want you to know. I mean, I know the FHCC guys, sorry, not the FHCC, Sterling Striker guys, if they are already counting their chickens, I want to tell them the chicken has not yet hatched. So don't count the chicken yet. So I wanted to show that out. And in case you didn't watch it, I wanted you to go and watch it because it is very interesting. Because he started off by saying, that's it. Next year, I'm in Sterling Strikers. I'm done with Brownstown. By the end of the show, it was like, no, I mean, I'm still okay with playing for Brownstown. So I had changed the comment 180 degrees.
So, Viju, all I can tell you is he said the same thing to me before the season started, but then he still played for us.
Okay. All right. So knowing Mansab, his mind will definitely changes. It all depends on how well you present this thing, and you're a master at it. So anyway, Parthiv or Avi, you know which way you want to go. I mean, we have 3 analysts now. One of the things which I want all 3 of you to do is, what we want to do is, I want you to find out what is the keys to victory for each of these 2 teams. So all the skippers who are watching the show, they can listen to the analysts, and you can give the keys to victory for each of these teams. But while you give the keys, I also want you to tell me what is the optimum lineup you would field for that respective team if you were the skipper of that team. So let's take Legends as an example. So, and let's say that Pana is analyzing the Legends versus Kings 11 game. I want Pana to tell what is the keys to victory for Legends, what's the keys to victory for Kings 11, what do they need to do to win the game. But then I also want you to tell me what is the optimum lineup for Kings 11 and what is the optimum lineup for Legends. And so that gives an idea even to the skippers what an independent person thinks of their team as to who should be in the 11.
I thought Vijay Shanmugam was going to analyze that side of the tree.
No, we were. I didn't say who's analyzing what. I said that initially we were not sure if Rashid was coming. Right now that Rashid is there, we just need to split up this 8 games. Maybe Rashid can do 3 games, and then Pana can do 2 or 3 games, and Vijay Shanmugam can do 3 games, or Rashid can do 4. And you get my point. What do you want Rashid to do then?
No, I leave it to you guys. Whatever you guys had in mind. I just thought the next.
No. Initially, I was thinking that the right side can be analyzed by Vijay Shanmugam, but Vijay Shanmugam is a playoff bound team, right? So maybe we should just limit Vijay Shanmugam to analyzing 2 games, and the other 2 guys can analyze 3 games each. Fair enough?
Yeah.
So Vijay, which 2 games do you want to analyze?
You guys pick. I can, I'm okay with that, Vijay.
All right. Then in that case, Vijay, why don't you analyze Indus Thunders versus Rangers and Kings 11 versus Legends? How's that? It's on the right side of the bottom right-hand side. Fair enough?
Yep. Yeah.
And then Pana can analyze the top side of the game. Pokeri Spats and Miles versus Raptors, and then maybe the entire left side can be analyzed by Rashid. So yeah, Rashid gets 4 games, but he gets the entire left side. How's that? Is that fair enough?
Sounds great.
All right, who's going first?
I can go. I mean, Rashid, if you want to go ahead, and because I only have 2 games.
Yeah,
you
so
can.
You can
You know what, gentlemen? Let's do this. Let's try and alternate between the sides. So that way, people also have some time to think about the games that they have us to analyze. We basically asked a bunch of people to join and say a whole bunch. So yeah.
All right, so that sounds fair.
Repeating so much. Avi is echoing.
Avi, your mic is repeating a lot.
Echoing, yeah, he's.
That's what they're saying. Okay, all right. Kings 11 versus Legends is our first game to be analyzed. Vijay Shanmugam, you go ahead, baby.
Yeah. So I think first of all I want to say congrats to all the teams that made to playoffs, and also the non-playoff teams. I mean, it was not a easy season, right? Because of all the COVID and everything like that. But everybody, I think, in my opinion, every captain put the best team in place, right? Like if you consider DCL from 5 years back and now, I mean, there is no other team that is just we cannot consider, okay, it's an easy win, right? I only consider all the teams are getting stronger and stronger. And I can't even, like I've been playing, I mean, Dynamites have been playing this league for 10 years. And I'm happy to say that this is kind of the year where I feel like there is a competition coming, and the league is going to go better and better. Being seeing all the goods and bads of the league, but I think there is positive. I mean, the teams that have played with the energy. I mean, even like for example, a lot of upsets have happened, and you can see from the analyst opinion there is no one analyst that is standing out. So from that point of view, I want to congratulate everyone who played DCL on this 25th year, because I think there is a lot of effort that went into to put this year together. And I mean, I won't be surprised that this league would see more surprises in the future. So saying that, coming to Legends versus Kings 11, I think Legends and Kings 11 are equally poised. I mean, I know Legends are a good, strong bowling unit, but equally Kings 11 can beat any team on any given day because of their strength in batting. I mean, you've seen some heroics from Kings 11. You've seen heroics from Nickel, and yeah, both captains are very competitive captains, and so this is an equal kind of a game. Legends can have an upper hand in bowling attack. I think they have a little bit of relapse on the batting side, but I think Satish will try to come up with this magic, and at the same time Vijay will try to come up with this magic, as they have seen both the teams together. And I think I would say like 60% Legends and 40% Kings 11.
So while we have this game going on, Legends versus Kings 11, I had a quick question for Parthav. Parthav, you played Legends last game and you lost to Legends, but your scorecard shows 13 players listed on that scorecard, included. And do you know why it shows 13 players? Because
I think there was some error because the wrong Aditya was added in the first place, and then the other Aditya was added. So I think nobody went back and removed the wrong Aditya. So yeah, there was only one Aditya playing, but initially I think somebody added the wrong one.
Okay. Anyway, that doesn't affect the your qualification, right?
Yeah. They, even if another 11 Adityas were there, it wouldn't have mattered. But but just to say, but I'm surprised that Vijay is calling out Kings 11 as a 40% chance. Because my opinion is Legends are really strong, and with the services of Harish, it's going to be even double the strong. So my vote would be 95 Legends, 5 Kings 11, 95% for Legends.
So Vijay, who's your optimum 11 for Legends, and who's your optimum 11 for Kings 11?
That's a tough question. Then I had to go into the detailed analysis, but I think
no. I just want your 12. That's it. Your 12. Who do you think should be the 12 who should play this game for Legends? Because oftentimes skippers have a problem as to figuring out which 12 should play, and this is just an outside opinion as to who you think should be playing for Legends and who you think should be playing for Kings 11.
See, Viju, that's the only thing, right? Like when I said to Satya that I don't want to predict any results, I mean, I cannot say, like any given batsman or any given bowler can have a good.
My friend, you're an analyst. An analyst should have an opinion,
right? So for like.
My friend, as an analyst, you should have an opinion. An analyst who doesn't have an opinion is not an analyst. You're blaming the analyst. Come on, my friend. You need to you need to up your game, buddy. I mean, you're going to be.
I'm only going to trust Satish Velamkonda. I'm only going to trust the captain. That's it. I mean, as I said, like
Okay.
I'm not trying to.
I feel that Satish Balamakonda got a raw deal. We needed at least 11, which you would this thing. I mean, if you want to be politically correct, that's fine. We'll move on to the next game. We'll move on to Pana. But I hope at least for the next game, you won't be politically correct. I mean, it's easy to be politically correct. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry can be politically correct. But that's not what the show is about. The show is about expressing an opinion. Right or wrong, that's the opinion. All right. So that's what makes interesting shows. Otherwise, it's just, yeah, everybody is good. Everybody is good. What's the point? So that's fine. That's fine. We'll no. I mean, that's what that was the deal that you would tell who is going to be the playing.
Nobody
12.
said that. I did. To me.
I told you even before we did say get your acts ready. I told this to you even before this thing. That's fine. If you at least for the next game, please have the playing 12 ready for both teams, if that is possible. But if you want to be politically correct, that's fine. It's your choice to be politically correct. But nobody appreciates politically correct statements. What people want to see is your opinion. That's what an analyst will do. We were brought to you in as an analyst, baby. All right, Pana, let's have you analyze the Raptors Miles game, and please give your 12. Everybody understands, hey, that's your opinion. You're entitled to an opinion. Everybody in the world is entitled to an opinion. But the skipper goes with whatever they want to do, right? That's fine. But as an analyst, you're saying, hey, these 12 probably should be playing and these 12 probably shouldn't be playing. Go ahead, Pana. What's the keys to victory for Raptors? And what's the keys to victory for Miles? And we have Rahul, Chenna also on the show, so they can hear it.
Sure.
Vijay, just a quick question. Sorry, Pana, to cut you off. So before I go into that, Vijay, who is going to win the DCL finals?
Who's going to win the DCL finals? You're asking me. You're asking me the
right
comment?
now. Put
now. Glads will win the DCL finals. There you go.
Good.
See, there's no politically correct answer. You ask me a point blank question, I'll give you a point blank answer.
I like that.
Yep, that's what an analyst is supposed to do. All right, Pana, I'll let you go.
Okay. Sure. And first of all, congrats to all the 16 teams who made to the playoffs. So I know it's a grueling season, playing a lot of leagues and everything. And we should appreciate that the league went through and all the nicety. So for the game itself, after the Rahul's innings, everybody think that MCC Miles has good chance for the playoffs. And the big thing about the playoffs game is that it's anybody's game on that particular day. It's anybody's game. Even if you make a 60 or 70 runs, you still can win match because the playoffs bring that extra pressure to any team. It's how big the team it could be. You can flatten up on that particular day. So that's where the experience matter comes up for any team. Okay, so for me, both are evenly poised. But if you take the bowling front, Raptors has edge. Batting wise, both has firepowers. Both can do pretty good. But bowling wise, Raptors has edge for me. So that's why I'm picking Raptors for this match, just for their bowling abilities, especially the player to watch. I don't know whether he's going to play, but the bowler who we should be watching is Ashok Bhavnam. He can change the match. In his first 2-3 overs, he can change the match. I like his intelligent bowling. He doesn't take much big run up or anything, but his intelligent bowling will definitely be very effective for playoff conditions. And he is like a big player slayer. So he can get the big wickets for you. So even though he's not an express pace or anything, he's very effective. So that's the edge Raptors has. So I'm picking. I know I like MCC Miles team very much, and I have very good friends. But cricketing thing on that day, Raptors has good chance to win the match. The best playing level that I could see for Raptors is I don't know whether Pradeep Botta qualified.
He's fit. He's fit. Yeah.
He's fit. I don't know whether he's qualified for.
Yeah,
I don't know whether
he qualified last. I think last game he played and he qualified.
Okay. I'm sure that they will be tempted to bring him into the team, but my suggestion would be just go with whatever 11 they were playing well. Just go with that one. Don't introduce the.
Sorry to cut you off, Pana, but he's the skipper of the Raptors.
I agree.
So you still this is what makes it interesting. So you still think that even though he's the skipper of Raptors, if it is your call, you would have Pradeep Bhatta sit.
Yes, exactly. I'll give a perfect example for that one. For 2014 World Cup, T20 World Cup, Chendimal was the Sri Lanka's Chendimal was the captain, but he got injured. And even though he was available for the finals, they still continued with Lassis Malinga as the captain, and they had the same team, and they won the World Cup.
Okay. Well, this is what makes an analyst, and this is thank you for saying it.
Yes, yeah. So I think they should go with this whatever playing 11 they have. They have successful 11 that they have. I know Pradeep Bhatta is an excellent player. He can like adapt to conditions very easily. He can bring a lot of experience, but just the gelling point, I would say, just play with the same 11 that they were winning the matches. Just don't take off any player who is actually contributing to the team. Don't take it off. Whether he is making runs or not, but he is in the gel. That's what I would say for the 11. So I'll go with the standard. Amar, Kiran. I think Omkar, Manjunath, Pradeep, Mohit. And then probably they might go with Harsha, but even Ajit is there, Ashok is there in my 11. Anil is there, Anil Balreddy is there. So Pradeep is there, and I don't know whether Sai Manoj is qualified. If he's qualified, he should play that match. Sai Manoj, because he brings the variation. The left arm pacer. I know Harsha balls left arm, but Sai Manoj is very effective being left arm bowler. And
one question to Pana: Would you bring in experience from Vikas Reddy? I know he's been with Raptors for a long time. He's probably the most experienced guy. Would you consider him?
Like being missing Pradeep, I would definitely consider Vikas to be in the 11 because he brings that experience factor, especially for the playoffs. But I think there will be a straight swap between Vikas or Pradeep. I think they will choose that one. I don't think they will play both of them because that will limit their bowling capabilities. So they will choose one of them.
But so when you say the Pradeep, which Pradeep are you talking about?
Pradeep Bhatta.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Because the other is Pradeep Anjuru. He's leading the team right now.
Exactly.
In the absence of Bhatta.
And the good thing about Raptors is that each and every player knows their role. They know what they need to do and and the encouragement they get within the team. I like that one. Like they push each and every player. That one, I like that they go. But now coming to MCC Miles, they have the excellent batting lineup. Brahma can play, Jashwant can play, and my favorite player in the team in MCC Miles is
Satya, can you show their players so that it's easier for Pana to pick the 11 or 12?
Yeah, and my favorite player is Karthik. Karthik Jairam. He is amazing. Like he has this knack of scoring runs without any effort. They have the big hitters like Rahul, Sanjay, who are like big game players. But for me, and any day, Karthik Jairam is the best player for Miles, and then you have Venkat Kongara, who is amazing batsman. If you see all these things, they have excellent batsmen. The thing they lack is the bowling department. They are excellent bowlers and everything, but Prinish, he's pretty good bowler. Jashwant can bowl, and I think Arvind can bowl left arm, and I'm sure they should play Arun Tenakaran because he's very good bowler.
I heard he is injured. That's what I heard.
Oh, okay.
I heard he is injured, and that he won't be able to play.
And there is a new, I think, new player this year for them. This Abhilash Motarbar. He's like, if you remember my early days with Vijay, how I used to bowl, he is that pace. He's that pace.
Okay.
And nobody can think that he can bowl that pace, like, because of he's just a little bit more taller than me, but he generates much better pace than me. So I like his bowling style. Like, the thing is, he has to stop bowling short balls. Otherwise, he's amazing bowler there. Like, so they have pretty good 11 here, but the only concern is the bowling power that Raptors has. It gives them the edge for this match. Okay. There is no percentage here, like, because there is only one winner. You cannot take a percent. I won't take any percentage. Like, this team will get this percentage. I will give. I'll just pick one, and for me, for this match would be Raptors. And if MCC Miles wins, that's good.
So, do you have any tips for MCC Miles to upset Raptors?
For Raptors, they can crumble a little bit when chasing. That's what I see them. And if they can get Amar and Kiran, who's an excellent form this year, both of them quickly, there is a good chance that Raptors can get into pressure. Even and good thing about Raptors is all 11 players can bat. So, but if you can get the top two batsmen out early, that's the game. So, win the toss, bat first, puts the score, get the best batsman out, then you'll have the good chances for MCC.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think the batting is dominated by Amar and Kiran. So yeah, the top order, and they open. So there's a chance if MCC Miles start well, the couple of wickets, I think they have a very good chance.
Yep. Yeah, it's just that's the only thing that Raptors lack in being a champion. Like, they can be a championship team, but that's the thing they lack. They how they can handle the pressure. In that situations, Pradeep used to take out the team from those critical tricky situations. But Pradeep, he didn't play much long, so I don't know how much he can contribute for this match. But for me, in the playing lane, Pradeep shouldn't play, but it's their call. So,
all right, we'll go to the next game, which is Troy Hawks versus KRCC, and we'll go to Rashid. Rashid, give us the keys to victory for Troy Hawks, keys to victory for KRCC, and give us the possible playing 12 which you would play if you were the skipper of KRCC and the skipper of Troy Hawks. I think Rashid is on mute.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for putting me on spot, Vijay. I'm not prepared by any means. So
you can look at the screen. The screen is there to help you out in case we have pulled up the screen.
Yeah, I'm looking at my screen now because I'm on the phone. So I guess one thing I will suggest, let me not analyze one game. I will try to avoid, and which game it is. So I will try not to analyze Sterling Striker, by the way. And I think that the reason is not what you're thinking. The reason is because I believe one of my teammates is going to be umpiring that game.
I don't think so. Is it? Is the results of the randomization come through?
No, I don't think so.
So if the result of Rashid, I'm always one step ahead of you. The results of the randomization is not yet out. So you do not know who your umpire is going to be.
It is out. Viju. Anyone can go and look at it after that it goes with the GMT, right? So after 8 p.m. anyone can go.
Yeah, I know. Oh, so you already went and looked that up, is it? Okay.
Right. So That's why that's the only reason
but-
I will avoid
but-
analyzing or
How
Yeah,
is that possible?
but they might turn down the umpire. They may,
well, that's possible. That is
Sterling
possible.
strikers love you guys so much, so they might turn down the umpire.
Actually, you know what? I am going to analyze that game. Yeah, that's actually point.
Show me some love, Rashid bhai.
Okay. All right. So which one you said the first one? I'm sorry, I almost lost track of it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be talking about the Tri-Hawks versus KRCC. Well, both teams are very much equally balanced. In my personal opinion, KRCC should come through. I don't see any reason why would they not, unless they really screw it up. But I think it's their game to lose. Nothing against Tri-Hawks. I like those guys very much, and I know one of my buddy Pradeep plays there. He's doing pretty good this year, by the way. So going through the teams. Give me 1 second. I'm getting to my screens, and my internet is not helping me.
It has to be instantaneous, Rashid bhai.
Yes, that's the disadvantage going the first one, Vijay.
Okay.
So you went first. I guess.
Yeah. See, they put me on the spot and have a time to go through this.
Okay. So Tri-Hawks. I'm gonna start going through the what would be. I think Vijay, how you want us to go through is what would be the key for them to win, and what would be the possible playing 11, right?
Yeah, and again, Rashid, the idea behind it is you're trying to provide some advice to the teams, right? You're an analyst, and if you're an analyst, my point is that I'm listening to your analysis, and if I'm not gaining anything from your analysis, I'm wasting my time.
Well,
let me not waste my time. So all I'm saying is you're giving an independent analysis. You're not taking part in the game, all right? So we are not asking Parthiv to evaluate the Glads versus Strikers game. We are saying that, hey, you have now no stake in this game. You're giving an independent analysis. You're giving the key to victory for Troy Hawks. You're giving the keys to victory for KRCC. And then you're saying, hey, if I was the skipper, this is the 12 players I'll field.
Yeah,
how difficult can it be?
Let me correct you right there, Vijay. This year, I'm the last guy anybody wants an advice from. Just so.
No, that's because you didn't. That's because you didn't have the personnel.
The only guy who would like to have any advice from me will be Parthiv. That's it.
I like that, Rashid bhai. I like that.
I agree.
Oh man. Okay. So I guess looking at Tri-Hawks, I think it's pretty obvious. These guys like Shashidhar and Pradeep. That's straightforward choice for their playing 11. Kaushik, Natraj. I mean, I like Natraj. I've been watching him for a few years now. He's a real tough guy to bowl to. And to be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about the rest of the most. I know Megasai. He's one of the guy I will definitely have him. And looking through their bowling unit, because they definitely want to have. Vijay, Vijay, I'm not 100% familiar with all these guys, so I will not be doing justice picking up their best playing 11.
Okay.
I'm relying on stats, and because there are a lot of new faces here, and I'm not familiar with most of them, to be honest with you. Okay. So again, I think knowing what I know, I already mentioned a few people there where I would be, putting my bet on if I'm Tri-Hawks. But with that said, I'm gonna go to KRCC, where a lot of my friends there, and which I know I can comment more intelligently. KRCC this year is a very balanced team, and I know our buddy Yogesh has played a very good hand bringing in some late addition. And you know who I'm talking about. Oni is definitely a very good fit in that team, and he's gonna play the dividends, big time there. Not sure now what his hardball schedule is, because that's another thing. When you take that risk, having players getting last minute, and I know that by, by experience, it's hard to keep them available when it really becomes critical. So hopefully there's not going to be a leather ball schedule coming in his way. So for
Although to be honest,
Right.
Rashid bhai, I think even in the absence of Oni, this KRCC outfit can beat the Troy
Yeah.
Hawks. To be honest,
Yeah,
like you said, I am a fan of the Troy Hawks team myself, but I don't know. My gut instinct says that yes, they've done well to get here, but they've also had some hiccups on the way. I have a feeling for them this itself will be like an achievement, and they'd feel almost fatigued to a point.
yeah,
And
yeah.
KRCC, on the other hand, I think have all bases covered. I see no reason whatsoever that they shouldn't go through.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But one thing I wanna give a piece of I'll say observation to my friend Yogesh Mittal. Because I played their game, against them, and I can tell you with two bowlers we had them pretty much under control for first few overs where I had the two bowlers. After that, we didn't have the bowling. They are relying very heavily. Their batting is somewhat of a concern. They're relying heavily on my friend Malik. Okay, so Malik is a very good batsman, but I think most of us already know that when it's gonna come to those high matchup with the strong bowlings, I am not 100% sure how strong the KRCC batting is. Their
So
bowling,
I think yeah, Rashid, I kind of agree and disagree both. One, I agree that they'll rely on Malik, but I think I disagree that they do not have the batting to support them. And I think the reason behind it is Malik has been so dominant that the rest of the people, like, we don't even see. But there's Jasneet, there's Bihar, there's Sahej, there's Satish. They have made runs, but not as many as Malik. Malik has dominated, the batting scorecard. So I think that's the reason we feel Malik is so heavily.
I can tell you,
dependent on.
after Malik, I'm not talking about the normal games. I'm talking about I have no doubt in my mind they're gonna win the pre-quarter. No question about that.
Yep.
I'm talking about the games gonna coming next, okay, and the one after.
Yeah.
With their batting units, after Malik, and there's the one guy who plays right below Malik. He's also pretty good, and I'm kind of struggling to remember his name. He played pretty good against us as
Bihar,
well.
I think.
Bihar, thank you.
Yeah.
So Bihar, and then below them is Jassi. Okay.
Yep.
My honest opinion is, if Oni is playing, that can balance out. Otherwise, with these, he's pretty much relying on those three batsmen. Okay. Mainly, I mean, of course, anybody can perform any given day. I'm giving you my analysis. So that's where if there's any concern for KRCC for the bigger playoff matchups, that will be the area. And if there are opponents, they can actually capitalize on that. That's what I see. I mean,
makes sense.
Doesn't mean I'm taking anything away from the whole team. Everybody can bat nowadays. Everybody has played so much. Anyone can do good. Upset. No question about that. But I'm saying based on the known capabilities, that's where I see somewhat of a weakness or a challenge. And what happens, one thing I'm sure glad Vijay would know that as well for sure. When you have such a strong, couple guys performing throughout your season, when it comes to the playoffs, if you haven't shuffled them around at some point, when it comes to the playoffs, the pressure, if on that day, if one of those guys or a couple guys don't perform, the rest of the guys haven't been exposed at all because other guys were taking all the load earlier. So that also kind of fires back sometime when you have a couple guys performing throughout the season. So again, that's my 2 cents. But again, at the end of the day, I don't see in this game any issue KRCC I think I agree with Avinash. Regardless of whatever playing 11 they're playing, I think they should be able to pull it off.
Yep.
Can I add? Can I suggest something here?
Add.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good. So I know. I think everybody, even I will root for KRCC for this match. But if Trihawks really want to win this match, I agree that there is a big fatigue issue for them here, and they kind of overwhelmed by reaching the playoffs. They have so much potential. The players have so much potential, and they can do big things. That's how they have to believe. Trihawks, if they want to win match, and they can draw inspiration from Kings 11 versus KRCC match. KRCC has, I think, almost fully loaded team. Still, they lost to Kings 11 only because keep on getting the important wickets at the right moment. You don't give up. If you don't give up on the particular day, you can make it. And especially, I don't know with Taminomi Press. If Taminomi Press, they should send Kaushik up the order, and with Nataraj, they can balance that one like that. Jasneet can be balanced by Kaushik, by Nataraj and Sesi. So if they choose the batting order properly and use Kaushik properly, they Trihawks can have a good chance against KRCC. That's my advice to Trihawks. Don't think that you achieved already something. No, nothing is. You are actually resetting now. If you whatever achieve you right now, that would be counted. Whatever. So that's what Trihawks has to believe. They should keep that fatigue factor to rest, and they have to be active. They are a very good team. I know them, like personally, I know them each and every player, especially Kaushik. He's bowling, like he can surprise any batsman with his pace, because he just takes 2 steps and bowl that pace. It's amazing. When you see him, you never know that he is going to bowl that pace. So they have to use Kaushik properly, and Nataraj, Sesi, Pradeep in the right places. That's what that could be the winning formula for Trihawks and KRCC. But in my view, KRCC will win this match, but Trihawks need to do this one to make a chance for themselves.
Yeah, agree.
So we are going to Vijay to analyze. What was that, Satya? Who did you have them? Or Ravi, who did you have?
Indus
analyzing?
and Rangers.
Indus Thunders versus MI Rangers.
Okay.
Yeah. I think.
Guys, I'm sorry, Vijay. Before we start, so I'm not sure what else did we have on our agenda tonight. But if these are I don't know if we were going to also discuss teams that did not make it. Maybe we can reserve it for some time.
Avi, I was planning to do that, but I think we have to cut out that entire segment.
Right. So one thing I would say is there is enough of us here on this panel. I understand this was last minute notice for most of us, for the guests that we've called. So it is obviously not an easy task. But between us, I think so. All I wanted to say here was all of us can try and jump in and offer our comments on all of these games while doing it at a good clip. So that way we don't have to take a dinner break and then come back into the VRs of the morning to complete all these games. But yes, but we the rest of the analysts, please feel free to jump in and offer your comments.
And
support the primary
when we say keys to victory, maybe just 1 or 2 points. That's it. We just don't want to drag it out too long. But at the same time, just stick to main things, which, like just now Pana said, hey, do this, move Kaushik around. These are things which could probably help them win, and then go on from there.
Yep. Vijay, please carry on. Vijay, I don't know if you're on mute.
Vijay.
Hello? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now, Vijay. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. So Indus Thunders versus MI Rangers. Like it's going to be Indus as defending champions. They have been under pressure last week, and like they've been kind of underperforming in my opinion. Sandeep Gopu, I think he like we played them last game, but he didn't play last game. So I think some I think he's going to bring the full unit this time to make sure that his tactics are working. And I mean, if you look at Indus, they are like kind of a loaded team, right? In the end, like everybody are performing in Indus. Like I mean, with they included Praveen Bengera, which is a pretty good addition for them. I mean, they've been winning mainly because of their bowling. I mean, Dinesh Pandati is their key, and with their batting, I think that's where sometimes it depends on the situation where they put certain batsmen in their lineup. Because I mean, it's my personal opinion. Manoj Singh should bat up. He's a very talented batsman, and with our game also he came down. Maybe it was a tactic, but I didn't know it worked out in their favor or not. But your best batsman should bat up. Again, I my team to give advice to the winning teams, but I am just saying, in my opinion, Sandeep Kapoor has to think about his batting order, how he wants to play his batting unit, because their bowling is always strong. I mean, Indus is always going to dominate on their bowling side, but also sometimes you need to think about plan A, plan B. Because your plan A doesn't work, then you have to switch to plan B. Looking at their losses of Indus, I mean, Troy Hawks, Patriots, maybe Dynamites, they took it a little bit easy because they want to qualify players. But when it comes to playoffs, I think Sandeep will try to make the best of their chances. And MA Rangers, I think this is a very, very energetic unit. I have played them in FCC Cup. This is an amazing kind of a young unit. Yeah, they didn't win a lot of games, but they are very young unit. I mean, they will give you a fight. I mean, they're not going to back off, and they play as a unit. And Shravan Gout, the captain, they have a lot of good key players. I'm not sure about Aditya Nallan, who is the leading wicket taker in MI Rangers. I'm not sure. I mean, he hasn't played last couple of games. And not Aditya Nallan. I think it's Abhilash Reddy. He's the leading wicket taker. And even last game, I saw like Aditya Nallan played very well. And they have a very good core unit. Like if he is playing well, so I mean they are a very scattered unit, but they play as a unit, and that is very scary when you in a team like Indus, because they've been like some of their key players have only played 3 or 4 games, and the mentality is like we'll go into playoffs and we can win the game. Okay, I mean, it's been the mentality for last few years, and but seeing MI Rangers play as an unit, I think there is a good chance that MI Rangers can be an upset. But I think Indus Thunders Sandeep Kapoor will kind of come and make this as a statement game and say that, okay, I'm here. We've been a champion for certain reason, and I'll bring the same pressure on DCL again. So I think it's going to be an Indus Thunders game, but I think MI Rangers is not going to give up. I mean, I've seen them before, and they are a good unit and they play as a unit, and that's what is key to win a cricket game.
I agree. I think MI Rangers do have a bit of a reputation as the giant killers, largely due to the way they took out knockers a few years back. And I know Indus Thunders basically set the blueprint for all this merger and acquisition nonsense that we have, right? That's where they were so successful in the way they ended up merging with the Spartans. But this particular season, just looking at some of their performances, I wonder if they have carried it a bit too far, and maybe if they've bitten off and way more than they can chew. And I don't know if that pressure of having to accommodate so many good players, I don't know if that is what has weighed them down. paradoxically, and resulted in some of the losses that they have encountered where they should have won those games. But I agree to your final statement where you say, I think Sandeep will still take this. I'm sure he's watching our comments right now, and I'm sure he's going to take it as a chance to make a statement. And
I think from the
he'll
Indus
be
Hunters
ruthless
perspective,
and put together his best 11 now that it's the playoffs and there is no obligation to satisfy anybody.
right? Yeah. So if you look at the Indus Thunders, even the number of people who've qualified, it's like 25, which is probably at the high end of most teams. So they may be able to manage to qualify so many players, and I think that was the deliberate move during the season, is to give people chances. They have a lot of players like Azim and Raj Sehgal and all those guys who have been with Indus for so long. So they want to kind of keep them, entertain them. So that's why you see a lot of these games, you see Thunders trying these things. But the key to them, the four players, Bangera, Pandedi, Jalaj, and Manoj Singh. I think these four players have to play. Everybody else can be accommodated. But if these four players play, I think Thunders go on to yet another final. And from the MI Rangers point of view, I think we've talked about this new guy Anush, who's been outstanding. He, Abhilash, and I think Ifti, they hold the key. These three players are going to be a key in that game.
Yep, and Vijay, you asked on the spot question who's going to win the DCL this year. I can my opinion. I can add you. I can add this other finalists. I agree with Parthiv. If Sandeep can have his four ballers playing all playoffs, I think that's going to be the other finalist. That's my opinion.
I agree. Unless we beat Gladiators next week.
Absolutely, anybody can do any. Yeah, I mean, no question about that. No, I'm talking what I think.
Parthiv, I'm looking forward for that.
But Parthiv, I'll tell you offline few tricks how to beat Glads.
We know in 2019 it happened, right? After we sillily dominated the first washed out game, and then we got smacked around. So
we need a Mansab in our team.
No, I'm kind of surprised how Raj only played one game. He probably wasn't available, right?
Yeah, he's involved. He's busy in the minor league. He's contracted with minor league now. So he's been traveling. So most of the times he's not available. So, yeah.
Okay, that explains. Yep.
Yeah. All right. What game are we taking next, Abhi?
So we just had Vijay, right? So I'd say whatever game next that Pana would want to say.
Pats versus Pokeries.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Pats. Let's see which way he goes.
Okay. Pick wise, I would go with Pokeries.
Pana, you have removed your glasses.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I don't know why somebody had to say, did you remove your glasses the moment they said you'd pick Pokeries? But, anyway.
That was good one.
That's good. Okay. The main reason why I had to pick Pokeries for this one is that the batting form of Patriots. Patriots are known for their excellent batting unit, but this year they didn't click for much of the matches, especially playing against the big teams. Their scoring was pretty low. The batting unit. I still don't understand why Nitin comes so down in the batting. I still don't understand. For me, Nitin is a first down or a second down player, but it's up to their thinking. But Nitin should always come up order. But Naresh, he's an excellent batsman, but he clicked only a couple of matches and only against little low ranked teams. But if you take their batting is not clicking properly, and they're now heavily reliant on Sai, probably Naresh. Good thing that Tejasvi he hit a couple of sixes against FCC match. So he's coming back to the form, but we never know. So because they should, like, they have extended batting like Balaji, Tejas Vimri, then Naresh, Sai, Nitin. I think all the 11 can bat there. So they are that the batting is not clicking. So that gives edge to Pokeris. And Pokeris has good bowling unit. They can bowl well. They can contain them to a low score if they are chasing and chase it down without any hiccups. So, so what if my playing 11 for actually for Patriots is play Madhu Pradipati. He should be playing in the team. He's a bowler. He's a pinch hitter. He can hit long. Play him, and then I think I don't know whether Narendra Anne is qualified to play. I don't know whether he's available, but he should also be playing, and Naveen Gajula. They should bring so that they can strengthen their batting lineup more. They'll have extra batsmen to cover the bases. So Patriots should do that one. But for Pokeris, I think it should be an easy win for them because their batsmen are getting into the form at the right time, and they have very good bowling. I hope Amit clicks in this match. Um, I just don't want him to play across the line at the beginning. But I mean, Amit would be the danger player for this match. Like he can click. If he clicks, I think match will be done like very quickly. But if Patriots want to win this match, bring your best 11, play Narendra, play Madhu, play Naveen, and use Nitin in the right positions. Don't play him down. Use him in the right positions, and they'll have a good chance of batting. Because bowling wise, both are very good, but batting wise, Patriots are very low in confidence. If they want to increase the confidence, they should play the extra batsman and see things from there. And the one advantage Patriots has for this match is that in 2019 they actually beat Pokeris in the playoffs match, in the pre-quarterfinals match. Pokeris, even though they made 134, I think their bowling was very weak at that time. I think because of some injuries or some players not available. The Patriots took advantage of that one, and both Raja and Sai made, and even Naresh. And I think I remember that match. Naresh was dropped almost 4 times in that match.
Oh,
Four
four?
times,
You're
and
being kind.
seven, right? Seven actually. Sorry,
Yeah.
7. Seven times in that match. But so that is good confidence that Patriots can take into this match. And I was talking to actually Jayant, and he was actually
Sorry, Pana, we've lost you there.
So I said that you have to see the situation here. Who are going with confidence into playoffs? At that time, Patriots has very good confidence when going into playoffs. Now, actually, Pokeris has good confidence playing into playoffs. So that's the reason why I'm picking Pokeris for this match.
They need Moon too.
I agree, but Moon fitting into the team is kind of, probably they can use him as a 12th player there because they have, the stability already with the batting. The thing is the confidence. They are not confident. Play around. Like even if you see the FCC match, like how much they struggled. They were 40-9, and they were. I know the minus them, but nobody played with the common sense there. I was so disappointed to see Patriots play like that. They have excellent batting. Nobody played with the common sense, especially just the last pair. Both Nitins, they played with common sense. That okay, let's not hit the ball in the air. Let's keep it down. Let's rotate the strike or eat up the dots. Target is not big. So,
Panna, weren't you playing for FCC?
I played 3 matches, but
weren't you in the game? Were you playing in the game?
No,
okay.
I was not.
Otherwise, I was like, conflict.
Yeah. So Kondal actually asked me, like when I came came to see the match, he asked me, "What do you think?" I said, "If Patriots win this match, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs." That's what I told him.
Wow. Okay.
That's yeah.
But
They could have won that very easily, but their low confidence in batting. That's very critical at this moment. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but if you see their results, they have upset quite a few strong teams. They beat Thunders in the in the round. They beat Dynamites.
Right.
They beaten Troy Hawks. So
But they
I
lost
mean,
they lost to SSK.
yeah, they've lost.
Yeah,
I think in my analysis I mentioned they should have been like they lost to Thunderbolts, which they had no.
Thunderbolts. Yeah, Thunderbolts. Yes, exactly.
yeah.
So,
Parthiv, if I may add a point here, I think the key for Patriots to beat Pokeries is very simple. They have to play Narendra Ane. He's a wicket.
Exactly.
Yes, he's a wicket-taking bowler. All right, he's the one who rattled Indus Thunders, if I'm not mistaken. Now, if Ane can bowl like how he bowled against Indus Thunders, Pokeries have a nightmare on their hands. And don't tell me I did not tell you. And don't tell me Avi has been warned. Because Narendra Ane comes and performs like how he performed against Indus Thunders. I don't care whether it is Pokeries or Glads, they're going to have a problem. But yes, I think the batting of
I don't know what I don't know at this point what I can do other than just dutifully go convey that warning.
Even if you take the Tri-Hawks team, he's the one who actually took wickets, and that's why I said. But I don't know whether he will be available. I think he's not in the state or something like that. I don't know whether he's coming for the weekends, but if he is available, yeah, just pick him. He will give you a good chance. And he has a good hitting power, like he can clear the boundaries so easily. And they can use him as a pinch hitter and just send him up the order.
And even in the Pokeries case, I think it's dominated by their openers, Neil and Saranraj. So I think if you can get those two cheaply, I think definitely will add to that pressure, because I think the Pokeries middle and late middle order, I think Vignesh, Satish, they haven't been in really good, awesome touch which they normally have.
Here is the counter. Here is the counter, though. The counter is when Narendra Ane comes. If I am Ravi Narala, here is what I'm doing. I'm sending Neil to handle Narendra Ane, and Neil can handle him. And I'll send Avinash Raghu to handle Narendra Ane. He can handle him too. Just don't ask Avinash Raghu to start hitting sixes.
You still don't know the secret weapon with
who?
Vignesh. I mean, he took 33. I think Ravi doesn't use him much, but that, as I told, I mean, it's not about the sixes and fours they hit. It's about that one wicket you can get. That's how you have to focus your thing on. I think Ravi Narla is going to try to bring him that charm of Vicky. Vicky is bowling really, really good, and I think Pokeries have an advantage of not using Vicky until now. If I am Ravi Narla, I will use Vicky.
Absolutely. I think, yes, I've been mentioning that from the start of the show. He and Satish Mani are like two players who are still yet to show up, to step up.
So I think in this matchup, I think Pokeries has all the advantages because, it's like if you're going to bring this weapon against me, guess what? I'm going to throw this weapon against you. So if I'm Ravi Narala, yes, Narendra Ane is a great bowler, but I have the batsman who can handle him. I think both Neil and Avinash Raghu can handle them pretty easily. I mean, not pretty easily, but very competitively compared to everybody else. I'm not. Prasanna Venkatesh can do it, but I just am not sure where Prasanna Venkatesh's mental status and physical status. That's all. He's not played like the Prasanna Venkatesh of old. So
is he playing regular? But Prasanna, I haven't seen it.
He's qualified, but he's under the radar.
Yeah, so Rashid bhai, I think so. He's had a lot going on and off the field. So he wasn't originally playing the 40-40 league, but unfortunately our F40 captain ended up getting injured and not being available. So Prasanna was kind of forced to take the helm of that team. So that contributed in him not playing as many games here. And him and his wife had a child earlier this year, so he's been busy at home as well. So I think all that has contributed to him not playing as much. But whenever he's played, he's still looked like. I mean, obviously he's someone that's played long enough that he can try and slot in whenever we ask him to. And I think come playoffs, I'm hoping for him to come good as well.
No, he's definitely one of those guys who can single-handedly take the game away. No
Yes.
question about that.
Oh, no doubt about it. It's just that, this season we haven't seen that big any real production where, as an analyst, you are wondering, what can I expect from Prasanna Venkatesh? But my feeling is when push comes to shove, he's still Prasanna Venkatesh.
Right.
All right, I think we go to the next game. This is the big game, GLCC versus Blasters. Rashid, it's right up your alley. You know both these teams very well.
Yeah, so Blasters versus GLCC. That's gonna be one of I think out of the playoff, I'll say that all 8 games, I expect between this one and probably the other one in my mind is the Sterling Striker versus Dynamites. These probably are gonna be the 2 close games. That's how I see them. All other 6 games, I'm pretty much clear. What I think who's gonna take the game away. So Blasters, starting with their main players. I mean, I'll say they're definitely relying on Deepak a lot, and he's really stepping up. And I was kind of happy to see him. I mean, he's always been one of the best bowlers we have seen in the DCL, but he's been really stepping up in the batting this year. That's something. It was a good to see. In a player like him. He has a very, very good hitting potential, which he always had. But I see him. He's been batting now pretty solid. So he definitely made some changes in his strategy. So that's gonna definitely help Blasters. One other thing I'm not really sure. I mean, again, Ravi Teja didn't play against us, but some of the stats I've been seeing, that was a little bit of a surprise for me. Ravi is just like Prasanna. That was one of the guys in Pokeries I remember was really the match winner. And I know Vijay, you should remember that for sure. That block of not the block. I'm just saying that super over game. Right, it was back in 2016 or 17. I don't remember exactly now, but that's the type of player he is. I mean, I'm hoping he will when it comes playoff, he starts showing up like the Ravi Teja we know. Unless he has some fitness issue, which I'm not aware of, he's still really not impressing me this year. Again, these two, and I'm a big fan of the way I've been playing cricket throughout the year and the way I look at analyses or team strengths. The match winners are matter a lot, especially in the playoffs. I mean, I'm not talking throughout the season, but when it comes to the big games, the match winners are where you have to pay attention to. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? And how they're coming up, how they're performing. Sean is definitely another big, very, very good addition here. I mean, that brings that additional punch there in the batting, especially, middle order, low to lower middle order. Mahesh is doing good. I mean, he's always been pretty consistent, Mahesh. And then they have this third guy is good. This person, Prashant, I don't want to butcher his last name, but I think they call him PB, right? He's a pretty good hitter down the order as well. So between him, coming down and of course also Jagan is also very good hand down there in the middle to lower middle order, and then Zishan is also on his given day he can hit the ball out of the park any given day. So I think that with that said, and if you add from a bowling side, if you add of course our good friend there, Imtiaz, he's definitely always evergreen and very, very, very sharp and very witty bowler there, and I'm sure he's going to play a very key role in this game.
I mean, if GLCC, if they have to be keep an eye. I know everybody looks at how Griappa bowls, but I guess Imtiaz in my mind is probably the most effective bowler when it comes down to he not only contains, but he is a consistent wicket taker. That's I mean his length is such I'll say difficult length to play, and I always admire him, and he also has good variation there. So I rate him pretty high in this team, and of course they have this Anvesh. He's a good bowler there. So I think with these guys, I see Blasters have a pretty solid unit, and I'm not 100% sure now if F40 is going to be playing any role here. I mean, usually these guys play a couple
No,
of
I
three
think
people I know.
yeah, I think a lot of them play the T20, the Sunday league. I don't think.
Okay, so there's no F. Okay, so from
Yeah.
that standpoint, then they don't have any scare there. Okay, that's good. That's good for Blasters. Now comes down to GLCC. Evergreen. They're always there, and in the beginning of the season, I thought GLCC was really at the top of their game, and then I
Right.
started seeing how things started turning around as I'll say the second half of the season. I don't know, my good friend Samesh, I think he has to think about it a little bit, how he's gonna motivate his guys. I mean, I'm sure they have the core there, no question about that. And any given day, he has the batting strength, they have the bowling strength there to turn any game around. But I mean, given their current form, I'm sure they will be definitely doing some soul searching there, because they have their second part of the season was a bit worrisome. From a batting standpoint, Abhishek has been in a good form, at least in the first half of the season. I don't know what happened to him in the second half, and with their rest of the guys were there, like I think this Ashraf's experience, he must be I'm sure Samesh will be using him somewhere in the middle order very very smartly. And Samesh, when it comes down to strategies, when it comes down to particularly playoffs and matchups, he's one of the very smart captains I know of. And maybe I don't know a whole lot of people now. There's a lot of new people here, but Submission, I think he knows where who to fit where when it comes to particularly the close matchups. So I think between their top order needs to fire up, and their bowling unit, particularly with Samesh himself, and Satish. I'm missing his name here. I'm trying to figure.
Satish Tyagi.
Tyagi, yeah, he needs to fire up. I mean, he's one of their key bowler, and they also have Manpreet and Navpreet here. Manpreet, I don't know. I mean, he's been hasn't been around for a while in DCL now, so I don't know how much of a form he is. I'm not even sure if he's going to be playing or not.
Yeah, I had a question for you, Rashid. Would you play him based on reputation, based on a player? Would you play him as a captain?
I mean, if you ask me, no, because I can tell you this. I mean, first of all, I mean, we've been playing this T-ball, DCL for a long time now, right? We know that somebody with their name, doing good in the leather ball. When it comes to the batting with the T-ball and the DCL, if you haven't played for a while, it's very difficult to pick up. The different story for the bowlers, but for the batsmen, it's not that easy. Even though you are a very good batsman of a leather ball, it's so I no. If you ask me, no, my answer is no. I will not.
Okay.
Now, had he been playing here like a few games, and I could see, he's in, because I remember we saw him last time when he was actually playing DCL pretty regularly. We faced him in a semi-final, I think back in 2009 or 10, and we were very easy to able to block him. We knew what to do with him. So, and that's what I'm talking about. When he was actually playing, he was in a good form. I don't know if in the current stage, I don't think he's up to that level. I mean, Akash is a key here from a batting standpoint. Akash is also a big match player, so I'm hoping he will fire up. But I mean, if you ask me, it's a pretty even matchup. But I personally see, based on the current form and the team strength, Blasters have some edge over the GLCC. Okay, the only thing to worry about for Blasters will be, again, my thinking from a batting standpoint. They're not as strong as their bowling unit. I mean, if Samesh has to look for the opportunities, I think he needs to concentrate, to see how he can quickly get those couple three batsmen, which are, I think that we know who are performing there from a Blaster perspective, and they can crumble pretty easy if they get couple three quick wickets up top. Because I think that's the worrisome part. I mean, if I'm GLCC, I will personally put Blasters into bat. I know most people won't agree, but I will put him into bat if I win the toss. So, but that's me thinking. I know Vijay kind of questioned my thought process towards the last two games. why I was doing what I was doing, but he didn't know I was playing with two bowlers. So that's the best I could do.
No, Rashid, here is the thing. If I'm GLCC, I'm also putting Blasters into bat without a doubt.
Yep, exactly. And I agree too.
I mean, there's nothing to think there. I would put Blasters into bat, and I'll tell them, show me what you got.
Exactly.
Because I'm not fully convinced. So show me what you got. And now the pressure shifts on the Blasters batting unit, which has not been that accomplished. Right?
Exactly.
So as you rightly said, I think you identified a key point there. But whether Samish takes it or not, that's his problem. But let me ask you a question.
Samish is a very smart guy. He's a lot smarter than I am, so I know that for sure. He'll be definitely thinking about what makes most sense.
Let me ask you a question. I have never seen a player drop off as much as Ajit, who was always one of the best batsmen in DCL. Can you pull up the stats? But he has done squat. He has absolutely done squat this year. Satya, are you able to put up that stats there? And if
that was actually a surprise for me as well. I mean,
I'm stunned. I'm stunned, because you know what? If I'm the skipper, I'm not playing Ajit Jaisinghe. I don't care about his past reputation. But this year, he has done nothing. If you go and look at the stats, where is the stats?
But is he even playing?
He's playing. He has played 8 games.
Oh my God! Okay.
Okay. I mean, we are not seeing the stats.
8 games, 19 runs. Yeah.
8 games, 19 runs.
Yes.
Funny you say that though, because recently, a couple of weeks back,
can you pull up the batsman stats for GLCC, not the GLCC?
No, one of the reasons.
There you go. Ajit Jaisinghe is 8 games he has played. There you go. Oops.
So I don't know.
For long weekend.
Look at this here. Ajit Jaisinghe, where is he? 8 games he has played and he scored 19 runs.
Yep.
Is there quickly someone can look at what number is he batting mostly? Is he batting down the order?
He has been batting all over. I think he has been batting all over.
Yeah,
but
GLCC,
I think they will.
One of the things.
They will make him play. Ajit will. I think Ajit will play this match because I think over the long weekend he played a tournament where he made a 99 not out.
Well, I will.
99 not out. 99 not out.
Against who?
I think it's they are playing a tournament. I don't know more details about that one, but he was the best.
Can you hear me?
Now
is that leather? Is that leather ball or T-ball?
No, T-ball.
Okay, all right.
That
complicates matters for Samish. You get my point. Again, it depends on what the bowling level was also.
And if you actually see GLCC down form, the thing that added up there was the Hemant's unavailability. He got injured, I think, while playing Corporate Cup, and that actually weakened their batting and bowling because he's like the best all rounders in the league. So if he's not available, I think most of the burden went on to Sai,
Yeah.
Sandeep Gopinath. So I think if Hemant is available for the playoffs, I think JLCC could be back to
Again,
their own style.
yeah, and
No,
again,
for me, I
I
think, yeah, for me, I think it's Akash's presence. I think he's played only 4 games. I don't know what the issue is with his availability, but I think his not being there for a lot of games, I think that has made a big difference.
Okay.
again, I think Hemant is key, as Pana said, because I think Hemant is injured, but now whether he's going to be fit by this game, my feeling is they probably were resting him, anticipating the playoffs. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens.
I think he had a concussion, right? He had a concussion. That's the thing. Concussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
got hit?
otherwise,
And
yeah,
he couldn't,
unless
he
he's
he
unfit.
fell down while running.
Yeah, unless
Okay,
he was
can you
unfit,
guys hear
I
me
won't
now?
be resting him in
Yeah,
last
now,
couple,
yeah, we can hear you.
couple
We can
games,
hear you.
right?
Okay, so because I was trying to make that point. Yes, so Pana made that point earlier, right? That Ajit scored a 99 in a tournament that he played over the long weekend. Just a correction, it was a cricket ball tournament that he played.
Oh,
But-
cricket
Okay.
ball. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
it was. It was an over 40s tournament that was conducted by a certain club in Mishka.
Okay.
And that is where it wasn't a Mishka tournament, but it was a side tournament that he played. But
Okay,
he was in very, very good touch there. Yes, but this is still a different game. But I don't
then
think
again,
he's in that.
but then again, remember it's an over 40s tournament.
Agreed. Exactly.
So you might be having people like me coming and bowling,
What?
and you might be hitting me for 30 runs in an over. But I don't think hitting me
be.
for 30 runs is the same as hitting Deepak Giriyappa. So I
Exactly.
think that
Right.
also needs to
By the way,
needs to be taken into account.
By the way, everyone on this call is, I think, 40 plus, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
No,
but then
some of us are
okay,
getting there. Some of us are
Parthiv, you're
getting there.
missing. Parthiv, you're missing the point. 40 plus can mean 60. It can mean 65. It can mean 70. It can also
That is
mean
true.
42. All right. So that all I said is I could very well have been bowling to Ajit Jaisingh and he hit me for 30 runs. Does that count? In my book, it doesn't count.
No, just the one counter I'd like to offer is Ajit's 50 plus does sometimes look like late 30s. He can put some of us to shame. So I'm still hoping that he can come good when it comes to a good game. But I understand the quality of the bowling he's going to be facing is going to be tremendous. So, but I agree with the points that you guys made, right?
If you ask me, I'll Vijay, I will still play him. I mean, that's
Exactly.
one player who has
No,
some
so that,
history.
Rashid,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
exactly
totally
that's
with Rashid
exactly
right
why I brought up the question of Ajit, because past reputation, he walks into the team. Current year, he has done squat. So now what do you do? You know, that's why I brought specifically Ajit's name there, because I
Yeah, but
wanted to know what he would
I
do.
think he still has a certain role in the team. He can still play that. So that's where I will find him still be part of the team. That's my
Right.
So
opinion.
And the
Rashid
point you
bhai,
made, right? He hasn't batted in his usual number 4 spot
Rashid
consistently.
bhai,
Correct.
it's been like 30
That's what
minutes.
I was kind of a little bit worried why Samish is moving that much around, but I think that's something he needs to probably think about it. Certain players are very good at a certain spot and they have a certain style of batting, and given their particularly, you know, I'm also a big fan for horses for the courses. Given the level of bowling they're playing against, I will definitely play Ajit.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we need to move on. Rashid bhai.
Yep. Yeah. I guess Vijay is very interested in getting your analysis on Sterling strikers versus dynamites. Rashid, please move on to that next game.
It's like it's 10:55.
Well, I already told you that's another one out of the 8 games, which is hard to predict right now. Let me see if I can
don't
go
predict.
through. No, I personally think at the end, I think Sterling striker. It's gonna be a close game. It's anyone's game, but I think Sterling striker pulls this off.
Yeah, they have a good unit. Yeah, totally.
No, I mean, again, nothing. I didn't mean by any means, Vijay, that Dynamics doesn't have a good unit. I mean, both teams are very good. That's why they're there, right?
So, Rashid, let me ask you a thing. Dynamites won the game last week against Indus and moved to playing Sterling strikers. If they had lost the game, they would have been at like 31 points. which would bring them probably to play. I don't know who they would
Could
have
be
played.
anyone. It could have been
No, I think
Pokris.
I think it would be most likely still the same, right? 8-9 was pretty much locked in before this game.
No, they probably would have. They would have probably played Pokris. They would have probably played Pokris.
We wanted to play Pokris.
Okay,
Oh
I
my
mean, they
God.
probably would have played Pokris because they would have been ranked definitely at number 11, and Pats would have gone down to 12 then.
Yeah,
I think so.
I always like to, me and Ravi Nana go against each other with everything,
Yeah, I mean, they are like Laurel. They are like Laurel and Hardy. They can't. If Ravi Narala says that it is the sun, Vijay Shanmugam will say it is the moon. So, you can be very sure that they have wide-ranging opinions which are on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
I hope you guys agree on Chennai Super Kings at least. You guys both support CSK.
Yeah, I mean, me and so this is the important fact, right? The one thing that me and Ravi share in common is when my kid was born, Ravi was still on call, right? I was in the hospital. My wife is like in labor, and Ravi was talking about how we can make DCL much better. So that.
Interesting.
Oh my God.
So
hey.
That might be the highlight of today. I thought Rahul Chenna was the highlight of today. And now Vijay Shanmugam is sharing certain things which is making Rahul Chenna into second place.
Hey Vijay, this show goes live, right? It's over on the internet now. It might put Ravi in trouble now.
No. I told him to. No, I told Ravi to. Hey, Ravi, my wife
it might be
is
Vijay.
I can see that.
Rashid, it might be Vijay in trouble because Vijay's wife was in labor and Vijay is handling a call on DCL. Now his wife would be saying, Vijay Shanmugam, what in the world are you doing handling the call from Ravi Narala?
I thought it was the other way around. Sorry, I misunderstood.
So again, I would say before my wife went into labor, I was umpiring a game in Rochester Hills. Lions were playing against the Troy Hawks. I was umpiring the game, and my wife calls me and said, "I'm getting a pain. Let's go to the hospital." And my hospital is in Ann Arbor. Came all the way. Rain was pouring down, and I think Natarajan was the captain of Troy. I think Lions at the time, and he said, "Vijay
is gone.
Nothing is more important than that. You have to go." Yeah. And then he said, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So Natarajan said that, okay, Vijay, you have to leave. And then I went to the hospital, and then, we were about to get the babies delivered, and Ravi Nalla called, and he was talking about DCL, how we can make it much better.
Oh, fuck. And you actually, you did actually switch the collar?
No, because I couldn't take the pressure of my wife, so I was listening to Ravi Narla.
Parthiv, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. This is the greatness of live television. You can't make this up.
Oh my God.
But anyway, let's come back to this game. I mean, Rashid, please come. We have this game and one more game to finish. So
yeah, I think like I said, I truly believe this is going to be a close matchup. I think it's hard to call, but at the end, I'm still leaning towards Sterling Striker pulling this off. For Sterling Strikers, for quite some time, I think it's pretty obvious. Raza is the key. Raza needs to perform, and he might be shattered a little bit based on his last game. But I guess he needs to forget that. Raza is definitely, one of the consistent performer throughout the DCL for a number of years now. However, for the other guys, who have to step up in the game will be the Ali Ali is a match winner. I mean, he can single-handedly take the game away if he stays at the wicket, and if doesn't make some bad short selection. Again, with our old Lansing, buddy. I know. I'm not sure. Vijay, has he played the Glads as well, or he was the Lansing?
Yeah. No. Syed has played for Bridges, and then when Bridges merged with Glads, basically he played for Glads too.
Okay,
and then,
he did that.
And then I think this year, or maybe a year and a half ago or so, he moved to Detroit. So that's when
I know. He moved here in Sterling Heights. So, anyways, he's been in his prime. I mean, real good form. So I think he's been
Rashid. He has always been a very good batsman. I mean, he's an excellent batsman. All right. I mean, he's a smart cricketer. His bowling probably, as he has advanced, he's probably gone a little bit down. But always he has been a very good batsman.
Yep. So once again, he needs to carry on with his form. I mean, Ali needs to step up in this game. I mean, other guys like Syed Mojtaba, I mean, he can definitely give that punch towards the later part of the inning. Again, it really depends how their top order performs, because that's where Ali really comes handy. I mean, if he stays at the wicket at the top, I mean, it's gonna have that ripple effect throughout their batting. If he doesn't, then they could see an issue there. From the bowling standpoint, it's again that's where Sterling Striker has some, I will say, some weakness. I mean, I think it's an open secret there. I don't think there's anything hidden. They have very good batting. It's a pretty balanced team, but when it comes to the bowling, they are lagging some punch there, and that's a worry for them. Can Raza, with his consistent line length, can he overshadow that in some games? Yes, he will. Not sure if he will be able to, at a bigger stage. But I think at this level and this game, if Dynamites, show a little bit of I'll say not they don't come prepared, and they don't do their homework, particularly for these major players here. I think Sterling Strikers should be able to pull this off. When it comes to Dynamites, I'm gonna go back to my view teams, and I apologize. I haven't been following that closely. I know a few players from Dynamites, not everybody. Yeah, not everyone. So I know Vijay, my friend, he's always there.
So that's why I trick you.
Yeah, if once Rashid is done, I can actually talk about Dynamites.
Actually, you know what? I will appreciate if somebody else can step in there. I'm giving you my opinion, what I think, but it's probably some lack of knowledge from Dynamites. One thing I did see him pulling off the last game from against Indus. But I also see Indus wasn't a full unit in that game, even though Manoj was playing. But it's a different story when you have a full unit playing that versus what unit they fielded. Maybe they were also in the mode of trying to qualify players. But nothing to take away. I think Dynamites are in their prime form right now. I mean, they are there where they really deserve. They came pretty close to getting into playoffs. Maybe last few years, but I think they've been qualifying from last year, and now it's the second year in a row, right, Vijay?
Yeah, I mean, 2018 we qualified, 2019 we didn't, and 2016 we qualified. So in last 6 years we qualified like 3 times. So
yes, but I can tell you this: previous years I have been seeing maybe
kind of up and down season.
I have seen you guys have a very good start of the season. But when it comes down to after the mid-season, you usually the Dynamites would fade away. You're almost like an opposite of us. But this year I saw it wasn't the case. So that tells me definitely you guys are doing your homework and you're coming well prepared. Kudos to you and your leadership, and I think the team has been performing excellent. So again, all the best for the playoff. But I think it will be a close game.
Is my voice coming through, gentlemen?
Yes.
No echoes, nothing. Okay. So to me, the key for Sterling strikers here is, I think they have kind of modeled themselves on your team, Rashid bhai. So the only way I see them making an impact and even having a chance in this game against the Dynamites is that their heavy guns have to fire, at least a couple of them. The only way they can get the ascendancy in this game is if they manage to shell shock the Dynamites bowling by going after them hell for leather. But considering the kind of bowling attack that the Dynamites have mustered this year, with Arun Selvaraj being red hot, and Avinash, I don't know if the left hammer Avinash is going to play for you or not. I know his team has made it. No, his team is out of the F40 race. So I believe he will be available this Saturday. So that attack is not easy to get to dispatch over the ropes repeatedly. So I would certainly rate the Dynamites as having the ascendancy on this one.
I want to listen to Pana too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
To be fair, Sterling Strikers is a strong team on this. Like if you see, but my suggestion how Dynamites can handle this match is through their bowling. I know the most underrated bowler in your team is Prakash Thakurpati. He is the one who consistently get wickets for you guys. So use him wisely. And his variations are the tricky ones. Like I know Sterling Strikers has excellent hitters, but his variations can definitely fool them around.
And sorry, your voice got cut. Who are you talking? Suresh?
Prakash.
Who? Prakash. Okay.
Prakash Thakurpati. Yeah. His variations are key for you. Like in the middle. I know Arun and Avinash can take care of the opening bowling, but the middle overs, Prakash will take care of them. I think he's the underrated player in your batting wise. I think I call him the little dynamite Anil Bilmoria. Like he can clear any ground. Like Anil Bilmoria. Like if you can use him wisely at the right point, it will be very helpful. And I don't know why. I don't know how. Like whether Satish will be playing, but Satish is a reliable batsman who can use. But I am kind of missing one bowler in your team right now. He's the brother of Arun Saminathan. I forgot his name. I don't know why he is missing from last few matches, but he is a very good bowler. I don't know why you guys are not using him, but
I don't think he's in the
he
state.
played one game. He just visited from Kansas or Kentucky or wherever he lives.
Oh, really?
He's not
Only
even a
one
regular
game?
player.
Pana, I just used it against FCC.
Yes. I know because I played him personally. Like I played that match, right? So I saw him. He's pretty good pace. He has pretty good pace. So okay, that's fine. But yeah, for you use the right bowlers and the right batsmen in the correct positions. I think you can definitely pull off this match. Even though Sterling Striker has the edge, if you want to control the power hitting, use the right bowlers. Like use Prakash wisely. He can take care of things. And Suresh, I know Suresh can mix up things, but I don't know whether he will be in the 11. But I doubt Suresh will be in the team. But if he is in the team, he can definitely mix up things. You need the variations.
Yeah.
So here's the question:
Yes.
Is Vijay Shanmugam going to be in the team?
No.
Okay.
That's $1 million question, but even my team is asking, are you going to play? So, Vijay, I'm going to be an analyst for a primetime show going forward.
Okay.
Is it are you going to play or is it do you really need to play?
I think I've been getting criticized because even if I miss a single here and there, Mr. Arun Selvaraj is criticizing me. Dude, you are not fielding very well.
I think Arun plays well outside the ground.
So you guys have heard about this story, right? Where the camel in the desert and the man is in the tent, and the camel says, "Can I put my head inside the tent because it's too hot?"
I have.
And the next thing, it's one leg. Basically, what Vijay is saying is, I brought Arun Selvaraj from Pokeries. I gave him an opportunity. Now he has kicked me out. That's exactly what he's saying. I don't know what else he's saying.
Yeah. I mean, you have to give credit where it is supposed to be. And if I miss fielding, I think I deserve that kind of a thing.
All right. Well, where is Rashid? All right, Rashid, we'll go to the last game.
All right, so the last game, that's I think once again it's gonna be a show, right? The show being who wins the toss. That's gonna be the key.
Parthi is already laughing there.
one way or the other, it's going to be a show. That's for sure.
Well, it's gonna be a show depending on who wins the toss. if you ask me. No, I know I'm just kind of messing with you, Parthiv. I think it's gonna be a good game. Definitely, Glads are the heavyweights here, no question about that. But strikers, they should not underestimate them, especially with the likes of Parthiv and Binod. Binod Singh is one of the smartest bowler I have ever played in DCL. I know with his losing some of his pace. I mean, that's has made him maybe not exactly what he was, but still, boy, I mean, he's one of the smartest bowler I have played years around. So between him, I mean, Parthiv and a couple other bowlers, I mean, strikers have a pretty decent bowling unit. When it comes to the batting, and I'm kind of losing the name, Parthiv, and my computer is slow. What was the guy who has the pretty good pace on your side? He played against us as well.
Rahul
Power. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So I guess from a bowling standpoint, striker has a good well-equipped bowling unit. But where their strength comes in is if they have a couple guys fired up in the bowling and the batting, they can actually put up a pretty good heavy score. And I'm sure one thing I've been noticing, Parthiv, in this year, you must have a strategy here. I feel like you were more effective batting up the order versus where you bat now. That's my opinion. I mean, you can fully entitled to disagree.
No, I agree. I think there have been a lot of new players who have been injected in this team this year. So I've been giving a lot of people a chance to go and perform. So yes, I've been dropping myself down. But yes, come playoffs, I think it'll be a different thing.
I think that's the key. I mean, if you ask me, for strikers to have a good chance at this game, the key is I personally think you should be batting nothing less than number, I'll say 3 down. That's how I see it. And again, especially the guys, you also have a lower order person who can actually bat really good. Kishore, I mean, that was another surprise why he bats that far down. That maybe again that's part of your strategy. If I'm strikers, I would definitely make him play somewhere in the middle order, not that far down, because by the time he comes in, I'm talking about Kishore. That short guy, Kishore, left
Mahajan. Kishore
Mahajan.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
So that's another key point. So otherwise, now I think with that said, going to the Glads are definitely at their peak form as they have been from the last few years. So it's gonna be very hard for any team to beat Glads this year. But having said that, doesn't mean that they're not beatable. They could be, on any given day if they don't come to the party full. Also, I don't know with the F40 schedule, what's the players' availability is going to be for Glads this playoff. I don't know. I mean, is Arjun going to be available? Is Anup is going to be available? So those couple, three guys, I'm not 100% sure about their availability, but if assuming Glad's full unit is available, I mean, I think definitely they have an advantage here for this game.
And I'm going to make sure the umpires check the ball every over so that I don't hear back from Vijay.
In 2016,
So, Parthav, I'll give you one advice.
Yes, go ahead, Vijay.
Rahul, Chenna.
Oh, yes.
That's it. That's all I would say.
I mean, there is no secret in admitting. I think that's the only way Glads can be beaten is you basically take it to them. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Attack.
So, but it's one thing to take it to them, but you have to realize he didn't take it to them to their best bowling attack.
Yes,
that's true.
We need the Parthav of 2008 and 9 and 10 or whatever that years back. We need Parthav to talk. I know you're not there, but I think Parthav, if you can do that magic, I think you will. I think you are a good motivator for your team. Strikers have been since Dynamics existed, I know strikers existed. So always tough, right? We fight tough. We don't give up. It doesn't matter gladiators or whatever the team is, and that's what makes strikers much more a difficult opponent for gladiators. It's not MI Rangers. I'm not saying against any team, but the experience you bring into your team and the way you motivate your team is excellent. I think you have to bring it to the next level.
Yep.
Question for Vijay. Vijay, do you think is Kishan is going to be playing this game?
Is Kishan going to be playing this game? It depends upon the availability of all the players.
No need to be politically correct.
No, I cannot answer the question without knowing who is available. So, Vijay, you've got there is no politically correct answer here. I do not know who is available, but all I can say is it's probably very difficult for both Kishan and Satya to play the same game. So I'm not being politically correct. I have Satya on the show.
That's exactly how I see it.
Okay, so you see where I'm going. So a knowledgeable cricketer will tell you this straight on the face. Both Satya and Kishan do not fit into that playing 11 or 12 at the same time. It's going to be one of them.
So Vijay, one last question.
Yes.
Win or lose?
What do you mean win or lose?
Thing?
What do you mean by win or lose?
If you win, what's the thing that you take off? And if you lose, what's the thing that you take? What do you take on from that?
Are you talking about?
There will be no show.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I'll do a video here. If with this squad, Glads don't win the DCL this year, they should be thoroughly ashamed of themselves.
I don't know if I don't know if that's a fair statement. I mean, you're disrespecting so many other teams like Raptors and Indus who have very good squads. I mean,
I said it in the first episode that I backed Glads to win this year, and I'm holding fast to it. And I will be very, very shocked and disappointed if they don't win with the squad. The talent that they have.
But here is the thing.
This is going to be out this year.
I'm sorry.
I didn't follow you.
Rashid bhai is like, I'm so happy this year.
No. Rashid is saying something, but I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
What did you say?
What was that, Rashid bhai?
No, I'm just saying. I was just backing Avinash's comment. We'll be shocked if Gladiator doesn't win this year, especially with Brownstone already out of the playoffs.
Right.
Nice.
Brownstone is our kryptonite. Or let's put it this way: Mansab is our kryptonite. I don't know. But what Mansab did on that year was unbelievable. But then you know what, Rashid? I don't think I said this to Mansab when he was on the show. I don't think anybody has shattered the 2000 point mark with regards to MVP race. He had that incredible a season in 2019. So I don't think anybody has come close.
And the key was, just so you know, I don't know if he mentioned that or not. The key was he was only playing DCL that year. That's a huge difference for anybody who plays leather ball cricket as well as the T-ball. If you're really serious, and if you weigh, if you want to perform, if you're a good player, playing both games together is very difficult to keep yourself up with the DCL batting, particularly the batting.
I think he mentioned that.
He did mention that. But having said that, Rashid, even this year he has played well, maybe not up to the same standards, but this year also he had some few games, but he played much lesser games, which is why he's not on the leaderboard. But I think if he had played a 15-game season, I mean, automatically you will go up the leaderboard, right? I mean, it goes without saying.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But again, I can tell you that given his hardball schedule this year, he was very clear up front. He wasn't going to play as much, and I knew it from the get-go. It's going to be very difficult for us, given our other players' availability and some of the commitments people had it, and then they took. They have to change because of the family situation. Like Talal didn't play at all. So
So let me ask you the $1 million question then: is Brownstown going to be back next year?
I think Parthiv asked me that question as well in another way during our.
Yes.
I think we have to have our soul searching. You if you know me for a long time, we don't just go there play and have hey, let's have fun, play cricket. No, we go there for win. And to be honest with you, having been thrown out of the playoffs this first time, I mean, the team is shattered. We were already pretty much on the verge of, hey, we're getting old, but not getting really into too much cricket anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Family situations, people busy. I mean, it's very difficult. But again, I'm gonna have to have a serious discussion with few players, and if I don't have commitment from at least a good 6, 7, 8 people for full time, then it's gonna be very difficult. But if I do, I'm still trying to convince myself maybe we'll give it another shot. But it's gonna be hard if there's no commitment.
Yeah, I agree.
And hope Mansab doesn't go to Gladiators.
No, Mansab is only going to Sterling Strikers. I think it was pretty clear. If it's not Brownstone, he's going to Sterling Strikers. So it's pretty clear. Yeah, I think who is it? Avi was the one who said that Indus approached him. I do not know, but
I was saying they would have. They probably approached Rahul Chenna at about 2 p.m. on Saturday. So,
okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
okay.
Some great divine miracle happens. I end up taking 5 wickets in the next game. Then I'll probably get a call around lunchtime on Saturday as well.
So you're saying that Rahul Chenna is next year in Indus, is it?
Or Glads, I don't know. You guys might have called him too.
I'm sure Rahul Chenna is not going to leave MCC match.
I already told you. One day it's going to be a tri-series between Indus, Glads, and whatever they call themselves, whatever Hari Parankusan calls his team. So it's going to be a tri-series. The rest of us are just going to be doing video shows and talking about
Avi, rest assured, KRCC is coming back with a lot of higher talent.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, quadrangular. Yeah, that's right. Quadrangular.
Okay, quadrangular. You're right. Yeah. Everybody are,
That's why
loading them.
We have an IPL style tournament. Let everyone, let all the players be in the pool.
And I actually kind of enjoy this. I haven't played much this year, and it's quite nice to just sit back and say, "Oh yeah, that guy is crap. He's useless. Can't hit a ball off the square." If I was in this position, I would have swung the ball both ways. Completely oblivious to the fact that the deep ball doesn't even swing much. But
it's always easy to sit back.
So
No, it's nice.
that's a great thing, right? When we are doing the show, I mean, we can sit and talk what we want.
I know, right? And I just got a text from Sandeep Gopu saying, "Hey, Avi." So I have a feeling he's going to call and give me an earful.
So I just want to have this finishing remark. Like, I think kudos to all the captains and kudos to Viju, Satya, Avinash. I mean, you guys made the show and wonderful, and it's been working. I mean, it's been working for so many teams.
Thank you.
I think more subscribers will come into this this show. I think I mean, Viju is like the Steve Smith of the
Steve Smith.
The
Steve
entire
Smith.
criticizing. But he is right in one fact that he knows the thing because he's been playing this league for 20 years with passion. So I mean, if I consider this is one of the best shows I ever been with, and yeah, I'm very happy that I've been part of the show, and good luck to all the teams, and let's have a good fun next week also.
Oh, absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much, Vijay.
So I still didn't understand the Steve Smith comment. All right, I didn't know how.
Yeah, I missed.
How I
yeah,
fitted. I mean, all I know is that even in my dreams, I have not thought about batting like Steve Smith.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know what. I don't know what part of Steve Smith. Yeah, go ahead, Vijay. Which part of Steve Smith are you comparing?
So I think it's called Steven Smith, right? Like the guy who criticizes all the NBA players.
Okay, he's talking about Stephen A. Smith, who's the ESPN analyst for basketball. I was thinking about Steve Smith, the cricketer. All right.
Right.
And I'm like, what in the world is Steve Smith, the cricketer, have to do with me? Okay, I understand the Stephen A. Smith comment now.
Yeah. So I didn't make it more specific.
Yeah, the A makes a lot of difference, Vijay. The Stephen A. Smith makes a lot of difference.
Well, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining. And and like Vijay said, we will continue to have this fun. And it's only going to get
thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Yep, thanks for having us here. And
thank you, Pana. Thank you, Rashid, for coming along. And thank you, Vijay, as always.
Rashid, I like your new mustache, by the way.
Yeah, it used to be black a few years back.
but no, yes, Rashid,
it's getting old with as just like my team. So,
well, if anything, it lends you a very distinguished impression. So Rashid bhai, Pana, and Vijay, thank you so much. Three of probably our favorite people to have on the show.
Yeah, one final thing, Rashid. What did you think of Rahul Chenna's innings? I mean,
it was excellent.
Vijay won't leave that.
No question about that. I was talking with somebody else the other day too. They said, "Hey, Glads didn't have a full bowling unit. I don't care what kind of bowling it is. Hitting that many sixes, staying at the wicket after when 7-8 down, it tells you a lot. That guy has it was unbelievable. No question about that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It was the best innings I ever saw. So right. I'm still blown away by it. I still can't get over it. It's such a good innings. So
absolutely.
So, for whatever it is,
did somebody throw a stone through your window?
No, there was somebody fighting in my subdivision. I was like, what the hell is happening at 11:30? But Viju, don't worry. I will not let you forget it. I'll keep WhatsApping you the video from Rahul Chenna.
All right, no problem.
Just last comment from my side.
I think the show turned from I think the show turned from Viju show to all the other captain show.
No, I just want to thank everyone, for giving this opportunity, and I wanna wish all the playoff, playing teams all the best.
Yep.
Go have fun.
Yeah. Absolutely, it's going to be a spectacular show. So anyone who doesn't know, we have all the 8 games on Saturday, so it's morning to evening, full extravaganza. So make sure you guys are there. It'll be fun.
Hey, good night, guys. Thank you for coming on the show.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye, guys.